Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. You know what this is. This is what we call Black Conversation. I'm sorry. This is what we call Black Conversation. I'm tighten myself up a little bit here. What we call Black Conversation. Black Conversation. And the phone lines are open, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call, whatever you want to talk about. We will talk about it today and talk about it in its entirety. If you got something going on in your city, state, or whatever you got going on, and you want to have a place, do you want, okay, now we don't, let me see. We're going to switch that one up just a little bit. But yeah, if you have anything going on in your city, your state, or whatever the case, and you want to have us to talk about it, all you have to do is give us a call, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call, and we love to talk about it. If there's some issues going on in your community that needs some addressing, and people are not talking about it, or it's not getting any attention, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We will actually talk about it, and we say black conversation, but it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, orange, purple, or polka dot, or whatever you are. Does not matter. We're here for each and every one of you to make sure that it gets the attention and the proper attention that it needs. You know, there's a lot going on today. There's a lot going on today in our world. There's a huge amount of problems, issues, if you will, that's going on in and around our communities. And somebody needs to shine some light on them. That's what we're here to do. We're here to shine that very light on them. Just like, you know, there's issues going on, people getting killed, injustices going on, restaurants are not doing like they're supposed to do. I mean, we talk about everything. We talk about it all. We don't pull no punches. We let the world know what is going on, what exactly is going on, and that's why we count on you. Because a lot of times, what happened is things have happened in your community, and nobody talks about it. Nobody calls the media. They say, well, the media is doing this, and the media is not doing that. Well, we're here to do what you all say they're not doing. We're here to shine light on issues that's going on. Now, I do want, if you do call in, if you do want to be a part of this conversation, you know, there's certain precautions that we want you to do. Don't use names, specific names, because unless we could get the other party on and have them to say their piece as well. And a lot of times we'll reach out to that party. And if they decline, then we'll let everybody know that we reached out to them, but they declined. This is my wife's little fancy cup right here. I use this one. I'm actually broadcasting from home. This is her little fancy cup. I got me some lemonade tea, whatever that stuff is she got down there. I don't know what it is, but she got. I'm drinking a little bit of that this morning, you know, just to wet the whistle just a little bit. But the phone lines are open, 678-381-1973. Waiting on the crew to come in with me, and we're gonna discuss some things today. We're gonna discuss some issues that's going on, and we're gonna talk about them what in their entirety. It look like my screen is just a little dark today, but as I said, I am broadcasting from home, so it's a whole different makeup. It's a whole different makeup when I broadcast from home. So just be patient with us. We're gonna make it through. But what's on your heart? What's on your Facebook? I see you there. I see your Facebook, Twitch TV. I see you there. YouTube. I see you there. Instagram. I see you. All y'all are coming on board. All y'all are latching in. That's good. I want you all to call in. Black Conversation. It's entitled Black Conversation because I'm gonna tell you, people say, why you call it Black Conversation if it's not just for black issues? Well, it's for issues across the world. But we used to do something called Black Friday, and so I just took that and I converted it over to Black Conversation. So that's what it is. Good morning. Good morning. We are Fright. Good morning. How you doing this morning? Good to have you. I hope I'm saying your name. We are Freight. Yeah. Hey, I think that's I think that's my sister there. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning? You know the phone number. All you do is give us a call, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We love to hear from you. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm still a little shaken. Yeah, I thought that was you, Tina. Good morning, sis. I'm still a little shaken. I'm still a little setback based on the verdict that they did in Elizabeth City. how they said, the officers was innocent. They were justified in the shooting, in the murder, in the killing of this young man. I can't understand that. You shot and you killed this man. They say, in the line of duty or whatever, but certain things just don't line up. And now they're trying to get the people to take over the case because the state, the district attorney, has said that the man they were justified in the killing. Now they're going to quote unquote retrain the officers, and they're not going to lose their job, any pension. They're not going to lose anything. But this young man has lost his life. I still can't sit comfortable on that. I can't sit comfortable on that. It just, honestly speaking, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me how these police officers could do the things that they're doing, go out there and kill individuals. I know a lot of people. I have some very close friends as police officers. Very close friends, very like family to me. That's police officers, and I know they're the ones that's doing it the right way. They've never had any issues like this. Been on the force for a long time. Never had any issues like this at all. But my thing is, and I worked in corrections for a while. I worked in corrections for over 10 years. There's a way to do things, and there's a way you're not supposed to do things. But one thing I do know is when you take that job, when you get that job, you raise your right hand, take the oath and all that. When you do all that, I know I missed the part where it says you become the judge, juror, and the prosecutor. I missed that part. That it says that you swear to become the judge, juror, and prosecutor. I missed that part. Maybe if any of you all that's law enforcement, small level all the way up. I know some judges and stuff like that, and listen, I missed the part where it said you become the judge, juror, and the prosecutor. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're going to it said I'm having a service error when I called in. Oh, hold on, let me see what's going on here. Let me see what's going on with my phone. Hold on, let me redo it again. Give me 1 second. Somebody said they're having some service issues when they try to call in. Trying to see okay. Oh, that's Lisa. Okay, Lisa, hold on for a second. Let me see trying to set it back up again. Give me 1 second. Give me just 1 second, and I'm gonna redo the phone lines because I want you all to definitely be able to call in. Give me 2 minutes and it'll be up and ready. But my thing is, how can you take somebody? So how can you if you're there, if somebody's doing something wrong? Now they also, how they always say, well, he had drugs, he was a drug dealer. Maybe he was. But the way I think it's set up, and again, I could be very wrong with this, but to try the phone lines now. The way I see it set up, the way I see it being is if you see somebody committing a crime, you as a police officer, you are to arrest that person and take them into custody and take them downtown, book them in, and let them have their day in court. That's the process. What you do, you arrest them, take them into custody, take them downtown or wherever the precinct is, take them downtown and book them, have them booked in, let them go through the process. And after they go through the process, they're afforded an opportunity to go in front of the judge and tell the judge what it is, their part of the story of what happened. And if they're found innocent, they go home. If they're found guilty, they go to jail or they pay a fine. That's the way I always seen it work out. They either, if they're innocent, go home, no harm, no foul. If they're guilty, they either go to jail or they pay that fine. I missed the part where it says you become the judge, juror, and the prosecutor. You have to shoot and kill them in the middle of the street, and then it's over. We have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Goddess from Kansas City.
Good morning, Goddess. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good, Goddess. I'm talking about, this is our Black Conversation, so we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I know you got something on your heart as well, and we'll definitely talk about that. But right now, what we're talking about is this situation about Elizabeth City. How they say the officers was innocent, and they're going to quote unquote retrain them and reassign them somewhere else. But they didn't lose their job. They didn't lose any money. Didn't lose anything. And this man has lost his life. I don't know where it says that as a police officer, you become the judge, juror, and the prosecutor, and you have the right to shoot and kill somebody in the middle of the street. I missed that part, Goddess. Can you help me understand it?
Yeah, I'm gonna help you understand it. Keep in mind that police officers come from the olden days called paddy patrols.
Mm-hmm.
And paddy patrols come from slave catchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you go back to history, that's where that mentality came from.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI put out a report years ago that majority of the police officers were the police department was being infiltrated by the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm-hmm.
And that mentality. So with that being understood, you have to go back to history. Mm-hmm. Now we can go back to the present and the future. Okay. They hold a meeting throughout the United States regarding the Fraternal Order of Police. They have a meeting with all the police departments throughout the United States. Mm-hmm. So this is not like just one state. This is a continual process that has been done. And that's why we keep stating that we're systematically oppressed from mm-hmm. the courts to the police department, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. With that being said, they have learned to continue to use a false narrative and state that, you know, well, this guy did this or this guy did that, or to encounter these particular shots, and, you know, and people have just sat back and allowed that because they don't want to think. I just posted something today that they rather believe whatever because they don't want to think. Mm-hmm. Mm. They don't want to think about the truth. Wow. I'm working a case right now where the officer said this man shot at him, but it's 4 officers on one guy, and the guy's arm is, he can't even move his arm. So it's 4 guys on one guy. So he was able to get a shot off. Mm. It's true. They shot him point blank in the head.
Wow. Mm. And what is that case right now? I mean, what status is that case in?
It's in Kansas City, Missouri. It's in Kansas City, Missouri right now. But what they didn't take into account on that false narrative, it was somebody in the video, and it was somebody in there to witness it. Mm-hmm. At the gas station. They never had a reason to come in and mess with this man. They had no warrant. They didn't have none of that up front. Mm.
Wow.
So, I mean, this again, and then check this out. You know how police departments are having people come in an outside entity to investigate, right?
Yes.
They're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you get highway patrol or if you get another department to come in and investigate their shooting, guess what? They're giving them the narrative and they're running with the narrative. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I want you to keep an eye on this case. We're going to try to bring it to the light here, but that's basically where it stands at.
Mm. And see, I have an issue a lot of times with one police department or one agency of law enforcement trying to investigate another agency of law enforcement. You all are working up under the same umbrella. And so 9 times out of 10, you all know each other. And y'all probably sitting at each other's table for dinner 3 or 4 times a week, at least once a week or once a month. And so y'all, it's a friendly situation. You're not going to arrest your friend. You're not going to find your friend guilty. They say law enforcement and blah, they're supposed to do it a certain way. They don't. They're still human. And it's almost like you are arresting and convicting a close family member or a real close friend. You're not going to do it. You're going to find some kind of way to wiggle, some wiggle room, and you're going to take the exit when you get it.
Well, again, it goes to the head of the department. If the head is bad, then 9 times out of 10, the rest of the body is too. And I always like to put this saying out. It states that if you got one black police officer out of 100, so that is that 99 bad after they didn't seen that one and didn't say nothing? Yeah, you got 100 bad police officers.
Yeah.
You know,
because
if you don't say,
and see what people
where it's at.
And what people don't realize, and I love that. I love how you did that. But what people don't realize, majority of the time, is this right here. If you don't say anything, your silence is approval. A lot of the time, your silence is approval. If you see it and you don't say anything, then you're approving of what's going on. Your silence is your cosign. My thing is, if I see something, if I see one of y'all doing something wrong, and I say, oh man, they shouldn't be doing that, and I know it's wrong, and I just turn and I walk away, I'm just as guilty as you. I'm just as guilty as you, because I could have said something and stopped it at that particular instance. I could have stopped it at that moment. I could have stopped. I could have said, so look here, hold on, guys. You know good and well that ain't right. Stop that. Guys, don't do that. No, guys, don't do that. Don't do that person like that. That's not right. But if I sit there and say, I know God is, I've been knowing her for a long time, ain't my business, I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just as guilty as God is.
Right.
And that's just how I see it. It's a sticky situation. Sometimes, like I said, I worked in law enforcement as well, so I know how they get down and how they do certain things. And sometimes, you don't want to be outcast and all that stuff, but you don't care. I'd rather be outcast and leave me alone, leave me by myself, or don't deal with me, or just terminate me from that position. I'd rather leave than to stay there and co-sign your foolishness. Because I'm not going to do it. Don't do it in front of me. Because I'm not going to sit there and watch it. I'm not going to sit there like it's not happening. Yes, it's happening. Y'all are wrong.
Is that one of the reasons why you decided to leave, or?
That, and I was in corrections, and that's one of the reasons. And one of the other reasons is I start seeing individuals, truth of the matter, being transparent. I start seeing little young guys, 15 and 16 years old, being sent to the male adult medium maximum. And I worked at a medium maximum and institution, and so we dealt with the roughest of the rough. We dealt with the big boys and criminals if there's such an animal. And I started seeing little young boys, 15 and 16 years old, coming there with 20 and 30 years. I was like, man, these young boys don't know what they're getting themselves into, man. They don't know what they're getting themselves into, man, because inside those walls is a totally different world. And I can say that, like I said, I worked there. I worked there, and 12 hours. We shifted to working 12-hour shifts, and I saw a lot of things. But I was going to work one day, and I'm not gonna call the fellow's name, but he was an inmate that was there, and I'm coming to work. He's right at 3 o'clock, right before 3 o'clock, and we changed shifts at 3. And no, at that time, yeah, this one was 8-hour shift because we was changing at 3 o'clock. But man, I was going to the unit that I was going to be working in, and the yard was supposed to be shut down. Everybody was supposed to be locked in the units. I see this guy running toward me. And I know who he is. I remember his name, but like I said, I'm not gonna call his name. But he was an inmate, and he was wide open running towards me. And the closer he got to me, I looked, and this guy was actually had his intestines in his hands. He had his hands pressed against his stomach, and his intestines was in it. Somebody tried to gut him. And he's running towards me. I'm walking to the unit by myself, and so I had to go straight from whatever mode I was in at that moment to hold on. I had to go to, had to shift myself to a whole different position. And I told him, I said, stop. I said, stop. Sit your blah, 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 blah. Sit down. I had to go into that mode. Sit down. I had to go, into that real assertive mode, because had I not, he was going to run and he was going to bleed out. So I made him stop. I made him sit down. I got on the radio, called it in and everything, and told him what's going on. The ambulance came and they got him, and they took him. They saved his life. They did. They actually saved his life. And I had hospital duty with them for a few days. You had to go, he was in the regular.
You saved his life, not them. You saved his life.
No, God saved his life. He just used me to do it. He just used me
to do it. He used you to do it. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. So you got to be accountable for the things that you've done.
Mm-hmm. But I was like, wow, and that's just,
mm-hmm.
and that's just one thing. Like I said, I worked there for 10 years, and I saw a whole lot of things in there. Man. I saw a whole lot of things in there, man, that your mind wouldn't think would happen, but you're like, wow. But this guy, man, he thanked me though. Like I said, I had hospital duty. I had to sit with him at the hospital doing my shift and everything, and we had a conversation. He told me what happened, how it happened. I don't want to go too deep into it, but he told me some things that happened, how it happened, and everything, man. And he thanked me. He said, man, he said, Aljamain, they call you by your last name. He said, Aljamain, you saved my life, man. Thank you, man. He said, I would have died, man. He said, I wasn't thinking, I was just running, man. The only thing I could think of was, he said, when it happened, the only thing he could think of was just run and run and run. And the more he run, the more his heart gonna beat, and the fastest blood gonna go through his body, and that he's gonna bleed out. It's not gonna be long.
Right.
So he would have died right there on the yard. Yep.
Well, I know it's very important for us. I mean, I remember, with that being said, I know we're taking it to a different turn, but I remember when I was growing up, this lady named Miss Rose, she had a program that she had, and it was called the Scared Straight program. And which they would take the youth to the penitentiaries and have the guys sit down and talk to us about what penitentiary life is. And I promise you, half of the people that went, I think they still out here doing good. Either turning their life into the law enforcement. I mean, like, that made a big chance. I mean, it made a big deal in people's lives and a very big impact, shall I say. So I don't know if that's a program that maybe we should bring back, but our children are just so, I mean, you can't just burn your children. They can't raise themselves because some of the adults are out here. I'm working on the exposure program right now with Janice DeWitt, and we're trying to explain some people off their record, because that's another root cause of homelessness. Like, so, you homeless and you get so bad, why not go out here and go back to commit a crime and go back to jail? But go ahead.
No, and you say that, but I've seen, like I said, I worked there for 10 years, man. I've seen situations, and we talked about this, I think, a little bit yesterday. I've seen people that had been locked up for a while, incarcerated for a minute. And we talked about it Wednesday night on one of the other broadcasts. And it's time for them to get out, and they can't deal with it. They can't deal with going back into the society because they're so programmed with the system that they've been living in for the last 10, 20 years, 30 years sometimes. And sometimes I've seen them get out, and a month or two later, if that long, they're right back in the system again.
That in the mentality, they can't even get back with their families. The mentality has taken in, to be honest, I could just see where it hit home. My child's father, my first husband, he just got out, did 20-something years, 24 years. And due to his past life, in California, 3 strikes you out. It don't matter if you steal a pair of jeans. 3 strikes you out or a piece of pizza. 3 strikes you out or write a check. Let's just be real simple. Let's do everyday stuff. You ain't got you wrote a bad check and money didn't come like it's supposed to, and you couldn't cover it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it is what it is, but 3 strikes you out. And he got them 24 years to life. Even at 24 years to life, he did tell we do visitation because when he went, his daughter was 2 weeks old.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow.
So, you know, this is like really the first time she's able to spend time with her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he was, that mentality was still programmed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his hours are getting up. His hours, you know what I'm saying? The mentality so far is that he's not used to touch. You know, because in the jail, you're not used to men touching you.
Yeah.
Or people,
A person touching
you know,
mm-hmm.
a person touching you, you want to stay far. The whole conversation, everything was about not being confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just have a discussion or a debate, so it's not really a confrontational thing. Just learning the simplest things of differences.
Yeah, yeah. And see, and
so
go ahead.
I was just going to say, so I believe that's why I believe most people, when they get out, disability is a key factor for them because, and they should get the most payout of them all because mm-hmm. they are mentally disabled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see, this is something right here that a lot of people don't like to talk about, the reality of it, man, and especially if it's a family member or real close. We ain't gonna necessarily say a real close friend, but a family member. If it's a family member mm-hmm. they've spent a lot of time in and they get out, I don't know if they're adequately prepared to deal with all this thing. Inside the institution is one thing, but to come out here into the real world, the real society, and have to deal with all the stuff that's going on around you. And say if somebody moved to here downtown Atlanta, they moved to Atlanta. All this traffic and stuff that's around them, man, for the last 10, 15, or 20 years, however long they've been incarcerated, they didn't have to deal with no traffic. They don't know what it's like to oh man, have to be able to cross the street. What do you mean? They didn't have to deal with that. There's no cars in and out of that place. And so something as simple as that, something that we think is so simple, you know, they can't deal with it. They can't deal with it because they don't know how to, because they've forgotten about this element of life. What do you say to that?
I say that peer support, because I do transitional housing, peer support and family is the key factor.
Mm-hmm.
And without those two, and a spiritual guidance, whether you want to be in church or you just get somebody that can sit down and pray with you, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the key. I can't see no other way that you're gonna make it out here without all three of those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I know that he got out and he's been out and he's been working. He works for the railroad now. He got a good job,
mm-hmm.
you know, and he's been out almost a complete year, so he'll be off parole or probation or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, family was a key factor for him. You know, his daughter calling him every day, and his mom and his brothers and sisters. That was key in order for him to become who he needed to be to make the transition.
Mm-hmm. And see, and that's powerful right there, to have the support system. Because let me tell you mm-hmm. something, without that support system, you know, talking them through it, a lot of them end up, you know, going right back down the same road again, because it's what they're familiar with. They want to be familiar with something. And so to come out here into this real world, have to do everything for yourself, cook for yourself, and all the other things like that, man, because they don't have to cook for themselves. You know, they while they're in the room, sometimes they prepare certain little small things, but to be in a house, in an environment or apartment or whatever, where you have to do all this thing. You ain't nobody waking you up 3 or 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 times a night for a count and all that stuff. You know, they're so used to that. And
then accountability is key too. You got to be accountable for your own actions. So that's major key. You know, sit back and look at, you know, that was some of the things that he said back. I was like, well, have you got in touch with so-and-so? Nope, because he was doing probably the same thing that he's doing before I went and when I came out. So I don't want to be involved in it, you know. So knowing where your mistakes are and being accountable for what you did do is probably 90%. So you're saying, hey, I don't want to go back. I'm not going back. And no matter what, I'm not going back. And I see a lot of people that are houseless because they can't go back to, and that's another reason why people are houseless. They cannot go back to where their family is because of, you know, either other people in their family are already on probation, parole, corrections, you know, or doing stuff that's not what they should be doing. So where do you go from there?
And see, and a lot of times, and I'm glad that he was able to get a good job, because a lot of times that's one of the issues that they run into as well. Being able to find the right job, and they don't, and if they've spent that much time in there, getting paid like 25-30 cents a day or something like that, because that's how the system is set up. You know, 25 cents an hour, and you know, to come out here where you got to live in the real world, you program, you know, man, you know, somebody say that I'm gonna give you $8 an hour. I'm gonna give you $8 an hour. They don't understand that you're not gonna be able to survive out here with $8 an hour, because they think it's a lot of money, because they're so used to making 25-30 cents an hour. And somebody said, I'm gonna give you $8.50 an hour. You can't make it. You can't make it. Somebody asked what was the topic. Well, actually, what we're talking about is this is Black Conversations, and so it's open discussion, open dialogue. Right now, we're talking about the penal system and how the people, when they go in, they spend a lot of time in, how they adjusted, or the lack of being able to adjust to coming out. And so give us a call, 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. And if, like I say, guys, if they're gonna make $8.50 an hour, it sounds like a lot, but it isn't. When you look at,
it's not.
Yeah, when you have to account for everything that you have to do, everything that you have to pay, you'll realize, man, you know, they might as well be giving me 10 cents an hour.
Right. Right. This is what I've been looking at right now is the new topic that's on, is that we have so many prosecutors that should be disbarred for withholding evidence that could be this situation happened where the prosecutor should be disbarred for withholding evidence that could have cleared Black defendants. So they held on to evidence and allowed these two guys. One's name was Rick Jackson, and Richard Jackson was the actual prosecutor, but the two guys' name was Stanley Mosey and Dennis Allen. They served 15 years in prison and in Dallas County in Texas, where the former prosecutor, withheld evidence that could have cleared both men. And they were both tried for murder. This right here is what I'm saying about the continual prosecutorial misconduct that continues on. And if you look at a lot of stuff, this happens throughout the United States, and that's why a majority of our men are incarcerated. And it's based off the DNA evidence that exonerates them.
And see, Michael Jackson said it, God rest his dead. Michael Jackson said it best. They don't really care about us.
No.
They don't care. And so these people say it's 2021, you know, it's a new day. Yeah. But that day, certain part of the old day have not changed though. They don't care about us. And we become the individuals that get the short end of the stick in certain situations like this. We get arrested more. Minister Neal, he always say that a lot of times they get the slap on the wrist, but we get the we get the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
well, this is what we just did here in Kansas City. You know, and I have to congratulate our mayor, Mayor Cleaver. I mean, not Mayor Cleaver. Lord Jesus, what made me think about him? Our mayor regarding in Kansas City, Missouri, he just did something that was a major change with the police department. And the major change is that the police department gets so much money. Like usually in each city, police department gets probably at least 1/3 of the city's budget.
Mm-hmm.
If most people pay attention to it. So what our actual mayor did was we've been requesting police reform for years and actually defunding the budget. So defunding the budget doesn't mean that you just take money away. It's called reallocation. If you reallocate some of that money a different way, it's key to the community. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just use money. You can't just use the police officers and pay them just to continue to lock you up. If there's no outreach, if there's no program, if there's nothing out here, and then the police are committing. We've had 969 police shootings this year. Mm-hmm. That's genocide.
Yeah. You talking about?
What month are we in? What's this, May?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
916 of them throughout the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We're in May. We ain't even made it. That's more than the most wars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that right there is a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major problem. And a lot of people don't realize that private prisons are now suing states for millions if they don't stay full. Mm-hmm. A lot of people fail to realize that this was done by design.
Yeah.
If I did a private prison and this is going to be my major investment was for me to build a private prison and for low crime rates and make a contract with the city that or the state that you got to keep us 80% full. That means I'm going to send you to jail for any and everything.
Yep. Like cattle. You talk
right.
Yeah. And I think you're talking about Mayor Lucas.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mayor Lucas cut part of the budget and said, hey, a certain percentage is going to go to the Border Police Department and Board of Commissioners over the police department. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some of this money towards the community.
That makes sense.
And it is what it is. And we're going to make sure that we do stuff that makes sense. They've been doing the same thing for 80 years. So for 80 years, why would we continue to grow with something that's going on for 80 years? How are you going to make a difference? So this is actually increasing accountability for the first time in 8 years for the police department. And then also they have to be accountable. You can't just say you got 800 murder victims and you've only solved 20. That's what's going on.
Wow. And see, what about the families of these individuals where the murders have not been solved? They still have to live with the reality of they don't know what happened.
Well, I know here in Kansas we have the FBI coming in investigating us, investigating from the unsolved crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get these FBI agents in. Don't be just sitting around. Come on in here.
Mm-hmm.
Start investigating these cold cases.
Do you trust them?
Pardon me?
Do you trust them?
Yeah. Yeah, I trust them because you got to go through the files and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go through the files and you see the police department didn't talk to the people that were sitting there or standing there that was there, and that's what they're finding.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You there at the crime scene, but you didn't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even have a clue if I see who shot the person.
Yeah.
But I'm there at the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. We're having this is what we call black conversation. We call black conversation. We talk about whatever's going on in and around the community and the world. We give you a platform. A lot of times people say that, well, you know, the media don't cover this and the media don't cover that. Well, we give you a platform right here where if there's anything going on in and around your community that is right, wrong, or indifferent, we give you a platform where you can actually give us a call. Let us know. Right now, we're talking about what's going on in Kansas City, Missouri. Now I'm out of Atlanta. There's some things going on here in Atlanta as well that I'm not too favorable about, but we're going to talk about that too. What else is going on, Goddess?
I don't know. Everything is going on. There's just so much going on through this world that from state to state, one thing that I do see that's going on is that the agents are getting their rights passed, and we still ain't got anti-lynching bill done.
Mm-hmm.
They still refuse to pass the anti-lynching bill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I know in Atlanta, after they had like a couple black men that was found hanging.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And they try again. They try to justify it. You know, they did it for themselves. But how does someone with their hands tied behind their back hang themselves? How does that happen? I don't understand that. Let me do this before we do that. We got another caller from the 803 area code. 803. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Sherelle.
Sherelle. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all?
Hey, doing well. Sherelle, this is we don't have a topic on Fridays. We do black conversations. So whatever's on your heart, sister, we want to talk about it. Whatever's right, wrong, or indifferent, let's talk about it. What's on your heart, sis?
Oh man, there's a lot going on. I'm actually on the clock, so I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's a lot going on. We can talk about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen and chime in when I can because I am on the clock and stuff. But I will definitely chime in. But y'all go ahead. If I find something that I want to talk, there's so much stuff to talk about. When I figure out what's the best topic, I'll chime in.
Okay, now let me ask you this while I have you real quickly. We were talking earlier about the police department and the injustice in the police department, how they can be the judge, jury, and the prosecutor and shoot and kill somebody right there in the middle of the street. I thought it's supposed to be a process. I thought the police officer was supposed to come in if they find you doing something, committing a crime. They're supposed to come and get you, lock you up, take you down, and let you have your day in court. But to have you shot and killed in the middle of the street to become the judge, juror, and the prosecutor, I missed that part. Sherelle, what did I miss?
You didn't miss nothing, but we keep having these same conversations about the police and what they do. We know what they do. Mm-hmm. We can't keep complaining about what they do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep complaining about it. You didn't miss nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You didn't miss nothing, but we know how this goes. Mm-hmm. We know how this goes. So, I mean, I just don't. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you on that. Yeah. I don't talk about this type of stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I really don't. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we pretty much we address stuff head on. So directly with sheriff and stuff, to keep repeating the same conversations about what the police is doing that we know they're doing. Mm-hmm. I don't even entertain conversations like that. I'm not even gonna lie, because we keep talking about it, but we know what they do. You didn't miss nothing though.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. And someone asked for the number. The number is 678. It's actually going across the bottom of the screen right there on the screen, but it's 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Again, 678-381-1973. Give us a call. And okay, good deal. I just got a text message. But let me ask you this question, guys. Because Sherelle, she's actually at work, and I know she's gonna want to chime in on this right here once I put it out there. But guys, help me understand. As a man, help me understand something. If there's one thing you could say that we as men don't get in the process of understanding the woman, what would it be?
Oh boy. You go these questions. I would say this. You kind of gotta understand yourself to understand somebody else, and you just kind of gotta put it. I can't necessarily say that women do. Well, I can say that, but I can't necessarily say that women do more than men. They do more in their own way. So you gotta understand the feminine side, especially if you grew up with a mother and a father, you've seen that feminine and the masculine side. So you gotta kind of bring down that masculine side and kind of get in touch with your feminine side as a man sometimes when it comes to a female. See, you know what I'm saying? We have that in you. You know what I'm saying? You have that progesterone and testosterone. You have that in you. So you gotta kind of digress. That's something I would say when it comes to understanding a woman. We can at times as women make it difficult for you guys to understand us. Sometimes I would definitely say that on our end. How
do we work together hand in glove to get a better understanding? Because when you're saying understand the feminine side, a lot of men, we don't know how to do all that. We men, you know what I mean? We men. And you say understand the feminine side. Wait a minute. We don't want to hear that.
Yeah, well, if you go in a situation with a woman like that, with that mentality, then of course you're not going to get respect from us. You know what I'm saying? So if you go in,
we want to.
We're men. We understand women. You're going to access us.
But see,
we're going to know that.
But see, that's the whole thing about it. My thing is, see, you all want us to understand you all side, but when you say stuff like that, you're not understanding who we are. We got to understand each other, right?
We do, but most women understand. I must put it like this. Some women understand society and how it made y'all. Some women understand that by nature, you guys are hunters by nature and we are nurturers by nature. Some people understand that. But to those, if you come across somebody that don't understand that, then it's on you to either help them understand or walk away. You have a choice. So you're not here to make somebody understand you. Nobody's obligated to sit back and understand you. You know what I'm saying? But if they choose to want to understand you, then they'll stick around and try to understand. As men, you guys are labeled as you're supposed to be strong and you're supposed to not show emotions per society, right? You're weak if you show emotions. You're weak if you cry. You're weak if that. But a woman like myself, and maybe I can't speak for the other person on the line, maybe her and some other women, we understand that. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of move a little different. But I'm an accountability person. So if I see a woman who may not understand it, I try to break it down to them like, no, you have to understand it in society. This is probably why he's acting like this, or this is probably why this, or you have to digress with this. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, we as women got to hold ourselves accountable too for the dumb stuff we do too. It's not just y'all. I always say all the time, in society, somebody asked me one time, what is a man's biggest downfall? A lot of people would say number one, the system or society. I say number one, the woman. That's my one. Because and a lot of people might disagree with that, but we bring them down first. You know what I'm saying? I have to agree with you. I have to totally agree with you on that. And let me tell you why I agree and state that. And it goes both, but you want a submissive. Most men want a submissive woman, but forget you have to be a righteous man. Being submissive does not mean to shut up or sit down when you say so. It means to trust you and to lead, protect, and provide. No woman is going to submit to a man who lies and controlling or can't even meet her emotional or spiritual needs. So when it goes to that level, it's like, and when women don't hold men accountable for, you know, where they need to stand it as a man, that becomes a problem. And a woman continues to, I don't want to say use the word nurture, because nurture is one thing, but when you do too much for a man and he's not doing for himself, then you're codifying them. I guess that might be the word. I'm not for sure, but that might be the word to utilize. And so you're not making him a man. Like these young boys right now, I'm working with a lot of young boys. No wonder that they're making choices that they're making. Their mothers are not getting out there making them cut grass. You know, get out there and cut grass. I see these women out here cutting grass with their sons and not cutting their grass. That's a problem. They don't know life skills. They're not learning life skills. And so when they grow up, you know, they're more sensitive than some of these women. So that's why you see it. To me, this is why you're seeing, and I do blame the women on that. I totally agree with her. I do blame the women. And so that's why you see that they're more sensitive than some of the women. So they become abusive.
Wow. And so, but my thing is, and one of the things that I tell people all the time is, if anybody should understand the plight of a black man and the struggles and the aggravation and all the stuff that he has to deal with, it should be the black woman, because she's the one person that's going to see him when he's at his most vulnerable place. She's gonna be able to identify when he's going through those moments, because she was right there with him. You know, a lot of times the man don't want his woman to see him cry, but if he ever gonna break down, she's gonna be the one that's gonna walk into the room and see him. And so it's based on how she interact with him at that moment, what fire she put in him or put out in him. We got another caller from the 301 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Mr. Neil, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I was calling in, man. You know, really, I had a little downtime at work, and I was trying to catch up on what's going on. So I was going in and out with the internet, so I couldn't really catch the conversations. So I was trying to actually hear what you said.
What we're talking about, and we had the ladies on with this, and I asked them a question. I just missed a call. So yeah, I just missed a call. Call back in. I missed a call just now, so definitely give me a call back. And what I did is I asked them, what is the one thing that they would say from a woman's standpoint? What is the one thing that we as men don't understand about women? And they were verbalizing what's the thing that we as men don't understand. What's on your heart, brother? If I flip that,
I don't know.
If I flip that question. If I flip that question for you and I say, what is the one thing that women don't understand about us as men? Flip the question, because you don't know what a woman don't understand, because you're not a woman, but you would, from this standpoint, if we flip it, what would you say the one thing is that a lot of women don't understand about us?
It varies. And I say that because different men have different visions and they have different paths in life, so I can't say what that individual might not understand. I could say that it can be something that could be misunderstood. That makes any sense when I say it to you, because I mean, even with me being a preacher, I get a lot of I put it like this. You get a lot of, sometimes, I'm not saying just for black women, but people in general sometimes, and a lot of times it's from black women, because black women have dealt with preachers on different levels, and they have dealt with them in different circumstances, even from experience they've had from their parents, relatives, things that nature. So a lot of times I do get a lot of things that are said that are very, I'm not gonna say they're negative, but they have reservations. And the reservation that they have, it's pertaining to a lot of members of the cloth. And I mean, which is rightly so. I mean, your experience is your experience. So that's why I don't think it's so much of that. I sometimes think it's a misunderstanding, and I say that because for me, I'm not like that, and I don't chase that. I don't chase it. I'm not the dog that's gonna chase my own tail. I'm not gonna. If I tell you I'm not like that, you don't believe me. God bless you. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about that. I think sometimes it's not so much they don't understand us. I think sometimes it's a perception that's been given off, and then some guys out here, I truly believe that they might not understand it. They're trying to figure out how can you sit here and you don't fuck up with all these babies and you won't take care of them. So there is a misunderstanding as well.
Wow.
So I can see it. I can see that. So and I got to talk to a young lady yesterday. She's been a guy 13 years, and I'm like, well, he hadn't actually married in 13 years and 2 kids. Sometimes it doesn't add up to me. So I don't know. I think it's on both ends.
Yeah, exactly. Good morning, Rico. How you doing this morning, sir?
Grand Rising, my brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good. If I ask you the same question, man, what is the one thing that from a man's standpoint that women don't understand about us as men, and what would that thing be, and what part do we play in them not understanding, if any?
Well, I think one thing for sure, us upstanding men that know that you have some men out here that really don't care about women. I think they get it misunderstood what they consider trying to control them, and when we're trying to protect them. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes when we disagree with the clothes that they wear in public, they think that having skimpy clothes on, not wearing undergarments, and having it to where you can see through your clothes and have all that revealing, they think they have the right to do that, and they do. They have the right to do that in public if they choose to. But they'll think we're trying to tell them what to wear, when we as men understand that there are men out there that are impulsive. And not only they are impulsive, but they're aggressive, and they don't have any self-control. Some don't have any self-control, and some of them just don't care about you. They just want what they want, and they believe in criminal activity. They don't care about right and wrong, and so a person can be attracted to a crime. This way, if they walk by a jewelry store and they see nobody working behind the corners, the counters and the doors unlocked, that's almost like bait. You have people, like bait cars. You remember they made that illegal. Bait cars out there, and they say, well, that's wrong for you to even bait people up like that. You tempting them thieves. But see, women will come back and say, well, y'all trying to say that we tempting men to rape us, y'all justifying the rapists. Wait a minute. We're not justifying the rapists. We're just telling you that even though it's not in our standard to disrespect women, but regardless of what they wear, that some men don't care what the next man got to say. We know we're not supposed to touch our children, but how many people go back and touch their children? And they keep it a secret. R. Kelly had secrets. Bill Cosby had secrets. Jeff Epstein had secrets. Prince Andrew had secrets. Things they didn't want people to get out. The CIA and the FBI hides things. So why wouldn't a man look and take the opportunity to attack this woman just because he was attracted to her not having any underwear on? Maybe if she had on underwear, it might not have caught his attention that much, but just for the fact that he could see everything in public like that, and he can't believe it, but he just infatuated with, oh man, I can't stop looking. Well, this one person might follow you home. So we are trying to protect you from those individuals that really don't care about a woman's peace.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question based on what you just said, Rico. Do you think that in some situations, a sick puppy gonna be a sick puppy, regardless? And a lady could have on a moo, and if he's a sick puppy, he's still gonna be a sick puppy.
In some cases, because you got men that take advantage of 80 and 90-year-old women. You got men that impregnate women that's been in comas for 15 years. Think about it. It was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I remember that case. I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and so that was a vulnerable woman. It was something on her body that he wanted, and sexually he could not contain himself. It didn't matter that she was conscious. It probably didn't even matter that she had not been clean. Ain't no telling what was going on with her reproductive organs, but he didn't care. He was thinking about his reproductive organs. So if that type of person happened to be at the club that night, that you decide to drop it down and bust it open and you ain't got on nothing covering that up, he might not be able to take that out of his mind. He might have an altered personality that's telling him, you know what, go ahead and get her. Ain't nobody gonna know. Everybody in that, they ain't gonna be able to say who did that. But you got the right to wear what you want to wear. I need to shut up. I'm trying to control you. I'm trying to, we trying to dictate what y'all wear. No, we trying to protect y'all. That's what our job is to protect y'all. Know the men that y'all don't know about. You know the little boys that y'all are raising when y'all don't want to make them men. When we come in and say, hey, make that boy cut that grass. Make that boy clean up behind himself. Make that boy open the door for them women. We know what type of men you are building. We know the men that exist that you don't want to be in your presence. We don't want you to create them, and we don't want you to become victim to one of them, because there are sick individuals out there, and we know.
Yeah. Good. Let me go to. I want to go to one of the ladies. We got a couple of callers. Hold on. I'm coming to you next. But I want to go. Let me go to Sherelle. You back? You with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What's on your heart, sis? You heard from a couple of men's standpoints. What's on your heart?
I'm just listening and working at the same time. So I'm quiet. That's why.
Okay. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis?
You know I love Rico. Me and Rico about the box.
Yeah, about the box.
We about the box. Rico, you got your gloves on?
Got my gloves on. I don't need gloves. I like knuckles. Gloves too safe. Bring it on.
Oh, Rico said some real cool things. I kind of like some of the things that he said. And then again, I kind of had to, my first reaction was, no, he didn't. And then my second reaction was, okay, I kind of understand his point of view. So that's that typical independent woman mentality. Not the independent woman that I don't need a man, but the independent woman like, okay, I pay the cost right now to be the boss because I'm single. You know what I'm saying? And I hear what he's saying. And we don't think about certain things, how different men do dress. Like, but to me, and it's been known out here, if you ever worked in we call it SOs, people that have sexual offenses, rapism mentality has nothing to do about what you're wearing. A lot of people don't know that. Even men don't realize that.
Yeah, and
it don't matter what you wear.
And that's why I was saying, even if the person have on a moo, which is a dress to cover the whole person, a sick mind is gonna be a sick mind, and it doesn't matter. You know, I agree with you there. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter what you wear. So with that being said, I think it goes directly back to the woman, and it goes back to our mentality. Only because I went to Europe and I was really in modeling and fashion design. I went to FIT in New York. That was what my degree was in. So I went to Italy, I went to a couple of the areas where, the body it's just a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? In different, like you go to certain beaches and stuff, the body is just a beautiful thing. And just how you walk, just modeling the things that you wear, and it's just a beautiful thing. And we have been taught, or if you go to Africa, we have been taught, our mentality is so messed up here in the States that we forget about our body. They make us wear, you have to realize, if you go into the fashion part, the bra was made because of a man designed the bra. Certain things was designed by a man. And that's because he knew his point of view, his mentality was messed up. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem. That's a major problem. Mm-hmm. Because these bras now are causing cancer. They got cancer stuff in the bras, But if a woman walk around today in the United States and it's all against church, you go in with no bra on the church, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. Oh, she ain't got no bra on. Our nipples that's part of life. We got to start getting back to our natural part of who we are. Mm. That's probably why some of these men running around wanting to be women.
Well, see, guys. Now, hold on. I got a few of you. I need to touch. Give me 1 second. But we ain't talking about walking around here in the negative. Now we ain't gonna talk about walking around here in the negative. We ain't gonna. Hey, Tucson. Good morning.
I'm not walking around naked. I'm talking about certain things that I feel like I'll be compelled to. Dang, I gotta put a bra on. Boy, that mug is tight. These are things that women we have to do because of men's thought process.
Okay.
Hold on, sister. We're developing high rates of cancer because of it.
Okay, so hold on 1 second, God. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull some more people into the conversation. I'll certainly come right back to you. Donna Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Man, good morning, y'all. You better tell me what y'all talking about before I jump into the conversation, because it seems like we talk about knuckling up around here.
Well, let me take you. Let me take you.
I don't wear gloves either.
Let me pull you in this direction. Let me pull you in this direction right here, and I'm asking you the question. Ask the fellas, what is the one thing that you know of that women just don't understand about us? I asked the ladies what men don't understand. So what is it that women, Tucson, just don't understand about us as men? What is that one thing?
We're not emotional.
We're
not emotional. We don't. Most of them. I mean, I don't want to say that, what I was going to say, but we may not react. Seem like we're reacting to it. Mm-hmm. Let me use this for example. Getting in a conversation with myself. For me, don't think I'm crazy, but dear, can you paint the bathroom? Okay. So the whole day goes on, and the bathroom is still not painted. Don't get upset. I'm gonna paint the bathroom. I just got to figure out all that it takes to get the bathroom painted. I can't just go out there and get any kind of paint to the store, because you got to do certain things to prepare yourself. I don't care if it's mowing the yard. I don't care if it's what you need at the shop, grocery store. I'm not going to be going down the aisle and looking at the product and how the prices, the name brand. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to put it in the basket, and I'm going to head towards the cash register. Don't have to be, let's not get all upset or out of whack and we got to go to crying and all that stuff like that. That's the one thing that I think that, I don't know if I answered the question, but I think women, and I'm careful about this, not all women, But for the most part, they put their emotions in it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand that for nothing in the world.
So now this one wants this bathroom painted, man. And you talking about, I'm gonna wait till this moment. I got to get all this stuff together. Man, you ain't painted the bathroom. She want the bathroom painted.
I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna paint it.
On your time.
Yes.
Boy, look at. I want to see how that work out for you. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? What is the one thing about us that women don't understand? And good morning to you.
Morning, everyone. Well, the thing I was gonna say, I think most women already know about it. What this toxicity that men have passed down to each other for generations about being egotistical, full of pride, and thinking we're better than women. So it's man, it there's too much toxicity in the men's side of the world. Everyone's wanting to one up each other. They think they're all strong and mighty.
But you got to understand, Badger, women do the same thing, though. Women actually, I think women are a little more competitive than we are in regards to that, because a lot of times a lot of women, not all women, we're not going to paint with such a wide brush, but a lot of times they overextend themselves in their appearance. They want to get the attention and compete against other women to get the attention for men. So the competition goes both ways, just different layers of it.
I think over time, I don't think women automatically can't start it out that way. I think over time,
I don't agree.
That's a typical answer.
Mm-hmm. It could be, but my thing is this right here. I don't want to be in a situation where you're trying to justify one and criminalize the other and not keep it consistent and balanced, because right now it's not balanced, because what you're doing, you're putting all the onus on the men, and you can't do that because women have the same issues. Let's do this. Let's ask one of the women. Goddess, what do you say about that?
Right now, I am just kissing Badger. Mm-hmm. I'm kissing him because he's telling the truth. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna just use a real quick example.
Okay.
You just automatically said that about me talking about naked because I just said bra causes breast cancer. Mm-hmm. It's one of the key things that causes breast cancer.
Okay.
And you automatically said that I was talking about running around naked.
Okay. And let me ask you this question: If you walk around without a bra on, are you walking around naked?
No.
Okay.
Because I got a shirt on. Do you wear a bra?
Do I wear a shirt?
Do you wear a bra?
Do I wear a shirt?
Do you wear a bra?
And the reason why I'm saying it, because a shirt is a part of the outfit that society says I'm supposed to wear, just as a bra is a part of the outfit that society said that you should wear. Whether it's right or wrong.
No,
listen, Goddess, hold on. Goddess, I'm not gonna let you over. Goddess, I'm not gonna let you. Goddess, I'm gonna hang. Goddess, hold on. Goddess,
hold on. Society means that incorporates everybody. All society. If people understood.
What I'm not gonna let you do is overtalk me. Rico, what's on your heart?
That conversation y'all was just having, that could go so many different ways. I understand where she's coming from. I'm gonna go back to what I was discussing though. See, this is what we got to understand. Sometimes when people want to do what they want to do, it's hard for them to hear the other side, and that's the reason why they end up in situations that they didn't prepare for, or they wasn't expecting. It was so intense. So I'm gonna put this phrase out here. Easy. Why you wear your pants like that?
Mm-hmm.
Why I wear my pants like this? The easy access, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's a word called trigger.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about human beings.
Absolutely.
All human beings aren't built the same. Everybody doesn't have a stable mind. Some people are addictive, impulsive, and obsessive.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things, and some of those things are deviant, but you don't see them. We didn't know R. Kelly was as deviant as he was. We didn't know Jeff Epstein was as deviant as he was, or the people that just made him rich just because he had access to little girls and could fly them across the world for grown men and grown women to molest, touch on. And nobody know they had that behavior. You see, sometimes you have these things called triggers, like with a bait car. See, a car thief gonna be a car thief, and they're gonna have a propensity to steal cars regardless. But if they happen to see one with the keys already in it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
easy access, baby.
Mm-hmm.
No, you at the club and it's a club full of women and you ain't the baddest one in there. And
Exactly.
this man don't know what to look at. But guess what? One just busted open and showed us all her monkey. It ain't nothing to the imagination no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And old crazy R. Kelly over here, he triggered. He ain't entertained like the rest of us because we can handle that. We done seen this before. See him, he handled it a little bit different. He don't appreciate it. He want to pee on it. See, he's sick. He got different thoughts. He don't even want to make her feel good. He want to hear her crying and yelling, stop. He want to choke her. Because he's sick. Now he's triggered. See, sometimes you have to take preventive measures. See, it ain't that we trying to control what a woman will. We trying to let a woman know that, hey, man, some of these dudes ain't going to be able to appreciate or respect what you got on, and they ain't going to be able to hold themselves back, and you might be making them vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
active, like a bait car.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a Bugatti with the keys in it and the doors wide open, and a car thief walk down the street. Now, if the keys ain't in it, he think it ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna be able to steal this Bugatti.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you got the keys in it and the doors up, and money in the seat, and it's running. And you like to steal cars.
Mm.
So that's the reason why we sometimes have to, I ain't gonna even say have to, because I love a woman body. But I know every man don't respect that. But that woman that want to wear that woman that want her nipples,
Mm-hmm.
y'all look at me. Look at me be risque. Easy access. What hookers wear skimpy clothes for?
And let me ask you this question right here. Do you think that is a competition that women has amongst themselves?
I believe it is. It's a competition and it's unhealthy because all men don't respect that competition. Like I said, there are so many ways for it to be perceived.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand you are also competing with hookers that's out there using that same form of attraction to get a man with easy access, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Go and spend that money.
Mm-hmm.
You're so close to it right now, you can see it from across the street. Go and get it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're saying in the club. When you in the club and you busting it wide open, one of them men thinking to himself, oh man, look at that. It's so close, I can see it. I can almost taste it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
What you got right there? Good point. What you got? I want to go to Minister Neil, and I got another caller. I want to go. Actually, I got two more callers. I want to go to those callers. Minister Neil, what's on your heart right now? Leonard, I see you, brother.
I'm actually just listening to be interesting about the back and forth between what you think about women and hey, good morning. How do you think about men? How do you think about women?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because we have to understand too that we all gonna have our own outlook on life, and I truly think that's what we have to respect. But we also understand that biblically we have to also understand line as well. And I'm not hearing that, but I get it. It's like we're talking about it from a different perspective right now. So I'm stepping out of that. I just listen.
Okay, good deal. Tina, good morning. How you doing, Tina?
I'm good, Alderman. How are you this morning?
Hey, doing well, sis. What do you think about this thing? What is the one thing that men don't understand about women?
I could say like the other guy said, if we get emotional. That's about the only thing. And on a laugh note, when we wear our bonnets to bed to preserve our hair. But that's the only thing I think of that men don't quite have an understanding is women are born a little more emotional, whether it's a soft emotion or it's an aggressive emotion. Men just don't understand that's something that comes with some women. I'm not gonna say all women, but comes with some women.
Okay, and I want to ask you this question real quick, and I got to get ready to pay a bill real quick, so I want to ask you this question. Do you think, as a woman, do you think you all compete against each other, and for men's attention in the way that you all conduct yourselves and dress?
I'm gonna say some do. I don't. Some do, but I mean, for me, if I walk in a room and a man has an interest in me, it is what it is. I rock with, back in the day, and when I did things, I rock with women that look good, and I've never had a problem in complimenting women. I still compliment women, and no, don't get it wrong, and as me, I'm strictly men, but it's not a competition thing for me.
Okay.
It's next thing. Whether I felt less attractive to somebody else, but some men will look at me and say I am beautiful. And that's what is what I go on. I could care less about me walking in a room and a man saying, "Hey, he walk over to somebody else that's it used to be in my crew that he finds attractive, and that's who he wants to talk to. That is exactly who he wants to talk to, and I have no problem with it."
Exactly.
Now, I did want to comment on one thing.
Okay.
The young lady that said, I think it was Shane, the young lady that said that she don't want to hold conversations about how people of color are treated. She needs to wake up, to be honest, because if we ignore it, and that's why it keeps going and keep going and keep going, we find more justice in talking about it, more justice in acting, more justice in supporting than nothing. I mean, given nothing, you're not going to get that anything. So that's what I had to say about that, because I was listening, and when she said that, it just disturbed me, far as not to want to even talk about it or ignore it. And if you check your inbox on Facebook, I sent you a video. And when you see that video, it talks about just exactly what you're talking about now. How an officer approaches a car with two men of color, hand on his gun, ready to draw, tell the guy to turn his camera off on his phone. He tell him no, he's too scared to reach. The other officer says something to the two gentlemen and then let them go. And then they approach a person Caucasian with a knife, and he's swinging it and he's coming at them and everything, and he stands behind him and tases him. And then the other officer, who is Caucasian also, he asked him, he said, "Well, what did you find was more disturbing about two men with a phone in their car over a man coming at me with a gun and you tase him?" So there is a very big inequality when it comes to how we approach. And I don't care, and I don't want to hear about what somebody else did or anything else, because a lot of these big major shootings are done by Caucasian people, and unless they kill themselves, they're taken in custody. But if it's a person of color, they want to put us down, like you said. Judge, trial, and jury, trial, judge, and jury, whatever. It's not
judge, jury, and prosecutor.
It's just not. So those are my views on things I've heard so far on your show.
Okay, good deal. Let me tell y'all who's actually sponsoring this part of the broadcast. It is WER Freight. WER Freight. You can get in contact with Ms. Tina Jones and her email is tinajones@werfreight.com. Tina Jones at WER Freight. Freight is FREIGHT. Just in case some of us can't spell the word. You know, it's one of them tricky words that I can't spell sometimes. But WER Freight is actually broadcast is actually sponsoring this part of the broadcast. I definitely want you to go to DKM Media Group and go to Channel W. Go to Channel W. The information is going to be there as well. But I want to thank them and thank them for being a part of the family here at DKM Media Group and Associates. Tina, you wanted to say something?
Yes, it's my company name is actually We Are Freight.
Okay.
And you did do the spelling right, and you are right. Freight is kind of one of the words where you be told I before E except with C.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
This one is E before I. So,
exactly.
Definitely. But yeah, we're a brokerage firm, and we're just obtaining shippers to move their freight for them with reliable and qualified carriers.
Good deal. Good deal. And congratulations on that, sister.
I need her number.
See how the thing work? She said she needs your number.
My number is 803-851-0482. My office number is 803-573-6836, and that's extension 103. And thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard.
Good morning, Raheem, in the Morning Glow family.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing fine.
Good deal. What are you hearing in this conversation, brother? What is the one thing that women don't understand about us, and vice versa?
First of all, I don't know anything about what women think. That's one thing. When I want to know what a woman thinks, I ask a woman. But
exactly what I did.
I've been hearing the conversation, but the reason why I've never had really relationship issues and things of that nature, because I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in these differences and everything like that. I'm a man. That's what I bring to the table. I'm not in competition with a woman or anything of that nature.
Absolutely. But let me ask you this question. Is there anything in your life of living that you realize that women just don't, some reason they just don't understand us about us as men?
No.
Has there ever been a thing?
No. I think that pretty much people understand what it is they want to understand. They behave how they want to behave. I'm that type of person. I don't play into the male-female game. I'm after what I want. So I'm not. It's not my position to think for you. I met you. That's all I did. I just met you. You are who you are.
And so basically what I'm hearing you say is you let that person be who they are, where they are.
Always.
But what does the growth come from?
What do you mean the growth part?
The growth because if you all you met, yes, you all met, and you all came together and y'all decided that y'all wanted to be together, and there have to be some kind of growth in that relationship. How does that happen?
Well, first of all, I go into relationships with a mutual respect for everyone. I don't have any less respect for a woman than I do a man. So I'm not looking for anything extra. I'm not trying to be a star or anything like that.
I think you're missing me a little bit, or maybe it's in my delivery of it. The relationship has to grow. You want the relationship to grow in a certain direction, hopefully a positive direction. How do you get there without communication or without the understanding that it takes for a man and a woman when they do come together to become one? How do you obtain that growth?
Well, first of all, it's not that other person's responsibility. So I'm going to grow and mature regardless of that other person. But how I treat a person is what sets the stage for that.
That could be dangerous, though, brother, because you really could find yourself leaving that person behind in the relationship. But I understand what you're saying, though. I understand where you're going with this. Let me pour
well, people do things who do things for various reasons. The majority of the reasons why people have problems in relationships is because they are selfish. Is because they believe they have to be first. They believe their interests are more important than the other person's interest, and they don't operate as partners.
Okay, I can walk 100% with you right there. I can walk 100% with you with no rebuttal, if you will, on that. But at the same time, that's not the person I want to be with, because I can't be with that selfish individual. Let's go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart, sister? Good morning. How you doing this morning? Toya?
Good morning.
Good morning, young lady. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you all?
Doing good, doing good. Good to have you, sister. Talk to me now. What is that one thing that men, Toya, what is that one thing that men just don't get? We just don't understand about y'all. What is it?
I mean, I think it is what it is. You know, I don't think that we understand the difference. But I don't think it's a men thing, it's a human thing. I was just saying yesterday, like when we look out our eyes, we just think everybody else is like us. They learn everything we learn, they do everything we do, they should know everything we should know, they should have more than we should have. So I think, you know, from a human perspective, you know, they just don't understand that we're not built like y'all. We're not women. You know, we say, hey, honey, how are you? How's your day? We want to ramble on and 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 on. So we ask y'all how y'all day. Oh, it was okay. And that's it. We just want to go on and mind your business and leave stuff alone. Y'all can't, like, understand why we go through all the emotional things we go through. Baby, why are you putting on the energy? So I think that's one of the main differences of men and women. Like, y'all are built to not be so emotional and leave it alone, cut and dry. And then when we do that, it's hard for y'all to comprehend. And I think that's where we bump heads at. Because you can get into an argument with a man, and he said he got to say he's done. He don't want to hear no more, honey. And he's gonna drag the conversation on to what's it, 2020? What's it, 2021? 2024. We still gonna be talking about that same conversation, honey. You gonna, oh my God, baby, this happened in 2021. I think that's one real difference in just, I say, you know, but the conversation earlier, we were talking about us in general, us people of color, us men of color, and us women of color, and how they do us. And there, it ain't right. You know, somebody said this earlier, how do you let the white man somebody asked me the other day, my Uber driver, you know, where? Oh, I want to live over there. I heard it's bad. I said, really? I said, didn't people go to the movies and get shot last night? Yeah. They went to the concert too, right? Yeah. Went to the mall? Yeah. Went to school? Yeah. Well, it ain't no different than anything else that's going on in the world. I choose my neighborhood and 12 movies you saw in your lifetime and base where we live at off of that. When your white brothers then shot up 3 malls, 7 schools, and 2 forests. I mean, like, come on with the joke. And for me, I'm not ashamed to say, well, you know, did you look at this? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, you know, but it's the narrative. You know, whenever the enemy wants to throw people off the track, what do? When there's a article in the news, right, and a man kills his mother, you know we can always tell it's not a black man because they don't never say it. It's a man. You got big to see black man, but let the black person see. Black man killed mother and kid. Black man robbed bank. Black man shoots up this every time. There's this double standard with humans that we use, again, because we don't understand each other, and then we use this dominion wickedly. And this is where we are now. We've been women too. Just from back in the day, you wanted to make us your property, you wanted to marry who you want to marry, you want to marry this one and then that one too, and then we want to justify marrying more than one woman. And I thought about this the other day. I said, now y'all know God ain't make us to be marrying multiple people, because if that was the case, it wouldn't have been no beef with Abraham and Sarah then. She knew she wasn't supposed to get that woman to be getting with him, but it shouldn't have been no beef if it was cool. If it's like breathing. right? Breathing is cool. Ain't nobody mad about breathing. But who gonna get mad about you messing with another person? That's how you know it ain't right, man. So we gotta really understand the dominion we have as humans. We don't use that on other people. We don't use it on nobody else because they're black or because they're women and you feel like I'm less than you or I'm your property or whatever. Like this double standard, it just has to stop. And that's what keeps this wicked world rolling, man. But until we stand up and acknowledge, until we stand up and get the knees off our back, until we stand up and fight and show them who we are, which that's what we're going through right now, it's gonna continue to have a problem. But I promise you, in this day, 2021, the yoke is breaking.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Tucson, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Just, you know, I think that, you know, what really taught you, people are just different. And sometimes we put everybody that we meet in a box. Women are like this. Men are like this. That's not the case. I think that we, if we meet a person individually and try to grow from that, we'll be more understanding. Just like society says, a certain person, type of person, gender, not only gender, but ethnicity. I'm gonna look up that word when I get home. Black, white, they're like this. All of them are like this. All Christians are like this. All Muslims are like this. We put everybody in a box. And then we try to go forward. And what about those people that are individuals? You're gonna wind up bumping heads.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't understand why it took me so long to just paint the bathroom. I'm gonna take 2 weeks about painting that bathroom because I know once it's painted, we stuck with it. I say that because it happened to me that I didn't paint the bathroom.
I know that sound kind of close to you. That bathroom, you know, you keep going back to that bathroom.
Yeah, it did.
Let
me just tell you what happened. I didn't do it quick enough, so they went get the paint themselves and painted the bathroom. Scared the kids to death because the color that it came out to be was hot pink. And the kid didn't even want to go in the bathroom. If they just would have waited till I thought this thing over. You know how hard it is to cover hot pink?
Yes, sir.
It got to be a difficult task because you got to cover that first, or you got to sand it off or something like that. So we sometimes it's strange because sometimes men, I say this, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes we overthink things, and sometimes we don't take. Sometimes we just boom. That's the answer. Oh, that's it. It's like, okay, don't pick Cheerios, pick Frosted Flakes, and let's be done with it. I just want cereal.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna help you out, Don. Get you a primer and put a primer over it. Prime it first. Put your primer on it first, and then put your color on top of the primer. It's not as hard.
Why would I have to do that if they just would have waited?
Well, Don, it sounded to me like they got tired of waiting, brother. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It sounded to me like they got tired of waiting. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Okay, you know how y'all feel.
It's a thin line between concern and control. That's all I can say really on that, man. Sort of going back to what I was talking about earlier. I guess it really isn't clicking with a few people. I don't know, but I'm gonna go back to it anyway because I know that is a argument that goes on between men and women a lot, and the same thing vice versa. A lot of times, a man will get mad at a woman and think that they're being too nosy or being in their business when they're just being concerned. They ain't trying to control you. They ain't trying to control your wallet. They ain't trying to control how your hygiene is when you get off work. They're concerned about you. They want you to go ahead and jump in that bathtub. They don't want you to come in the house and lay down and fall asleep in those dirty clothes and all that sweat on. Good for you. They want you to drink some water because maybe they know you were going to be dehydrated from working in this hot sun all day. But sometimes people get so caught up in what they want to do that they think somebody else is trying to control them. No, maybe I'm just showing you some concern. Maybe I saw in the comments, what would it say? How about the tribes where women don't wear shirts and bras and the men don't get distracted? Okay, well, what about the men that do get distracted? Maybe bras and undergarments were created because you did have a few men that didn't know how to respect that and they violated those women. And so society said, well, you know what? To keep these body parts that seemingly these certain few people, these deviants, can't seem to get out of their mind, we're going to see if we could cover that up a little bit and then maybe that'll slow some of this behavior down. Because these jokers acting like barbarians and savages. See, we got to understand, we come in a world where everybody isn't mentally stable. I'm going to say that again. Everybody don't walk down the same road together. Everybody's bread is not done. Some people bread burnt. Some people bread is mushy. It never did start baking. It ain't rolled all the way up yet. I mean, so with those warped people, with those warped minds, you have to be careful and mindful that they exist. You know what? A child has the right to walk down the street and catch the bus without somebody trying to kidnap them. What about in society where that happens and nobody trying to kidnap them? Okay, so does that protect the ones that did get kidnapped? Those very few instances where somebody took advantage of the situation to get what they wanted, their deviant thoughts out, easy access. Go back to easy access again. So yeah, I hope God is called back in because I mean I love when women come back and say that they want to stand on, and men too. When men, oh y'all just trying to dictate what they're trying to work. Well, you know what? If you heard some of the men that I heard in the process of watching women be naked and have fun, if you've been to some of the freak nicks I went to and saw those women feeling free like they was in the Woodstock, you know, in Woodstock they could be free and they didn't have, but I bet you couldn't do that at Freaknik. At Freaknik, you had about 20, 30 hands. It was a whole different monster. People acting like animals. Those women weren't safe. They weren't free to bat themselves to the world. I'm free. I could do that. No, they couldn't do that. Those men was mistreating those women, man. Women was walking up and out crying, being violated. But guess what? I could contain myself. What about the men that don't get distracted? Okay, what about that crew of people that did get distracted and they turned into animals?
Exactly. Let me go to actually, Goddess is back. Goddess, you back with us, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what's on your heart?
I'm just glad you touched base. You know, everybody can go to the wrong thing. But what about if we try to reprogram our mindset? What if we try to work with the ones that we can work with and reprogram their mindset? What about the fact that wearing bras causes breast cancer? Have everybody ever thought about that? You know, if you're concerned about me keeping my breast and not having them get cut off.
Okay.
Concerned about me keeping my life.
And what you're saying, God is hold on.
God
is hold on for a second. Let me ask you this. Okay, I understand what you're saying, reprogram the minds of the ones that you can, but what do you do with the ones that you can't? What do you do with the ones that you can't?
The ones that you can't. Okay, yeah. But let me say this. The ones that I can't, do I have to really worry about the ones that I can't? No.
Yes.
Because I can't.
Those are the ones that's going to harm you. Those are the ones that's going to harm you. God is the one that you can't
worry about what I can't control though.
But God is the ones that listen, God is wow. My thing is this right here. The ones that you can control, that's fine. Those are the good. Those are not harmful to you. But the ones that you can't are the very ones that's going to come and hurt and harm and cause you all kind of problems. Those are the ones you need to be concerned about because those are the ones that's going to violate you. The ones that you can't.
Let me explain to you. I don't have to concern myself with that. That's why when I walk out the door, I put a hedge of protection over my body. Okay. That's for God to worry about.
But
that's why I believe. That's why. So that's why people,
God, it's my thing is this right here.
My thing. When I walk. I don't walk in fear. I walk
you don't have to. We're not asking you to. We're not asking you to.
God.
That's beautiful.
I don't even
Goddess,
have to
hold on.
boast about
Hold on,
it. You have
Goddess.
to put
Goddess.
preaching in front of me.
Goddess, hold on. My thing, I understand that, and I appreciate and respect everything that you're saying. Yes, we depend on God for everything. That's beautiful. I understand that, but still, in this world that we live in, people still get violated. People still get hurt. People still get raped, and all kind of things. And I'm not gonna say whether they believed or they didn't believe, but it still happened. Watch this. Let me go. Minister Neil, what's on your heart, brother?
Can I just finish what I was saying? Because you interrupted me 2 times. Because I was trying to put out here the legal part.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
In the legal part about the lymph nodes, about the breast, the compression of the lymph nodes, that's a key factor. In reality, the body fluids travel up into the underarms. You know, and when it's compressed, that's what causes breast cancer. So that's a major problem.
Okay.
There's several books that's been out here.
Okay.
So, I mean, do we continue on doing the same crazy stuff that we been doing? Or do we, that, and you can't protect, they're stealing kids every day. Do I stop my kids from catching a bus? Do I stop
Goddess,
going
hold on.
outside? Do I stop living because I
Goddess, hold on, Goddess.
No, if you want to.
Goddess, hold on. We can't let you dominate the conversation. Oh, we got other people here as well. Toya, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I'm saying if you want to, and that's what you want to be, yeah, you can. You absolutely can. We hear things every day. You know that they're gonna bust folks for PPP, and we still run around manipulating the system, using things to get money. We know they arrest folks for selling drugs, but you still going out there to tell them, oh, I need to do this for my family. Did that dirt? No, they shooting black folks for no reason. It's a lot of stuff we know. You know you weren't gonna be real and honest about what we do. I'm talking about these thieves and criminals with their houses. Y'all know y'all not trying to do nothing for real. You just walk around here trying to scheme and scam, and then when they fall out of pocket, it's, oh, well, they're crazy. Oh, you didn't have to do that. You can call the police. No, we can do what we want to do. Nobody has to retrain their brain. Nobody has to go and listen. This is like Jim Jones, right? People do what they want to do, and we cling to who we want to cling to. But this is the most important part as I hear this conversation. Because the Lord just talked to me the other day, too. I love broad. Because I ain't that but 2 nickels. So if I can make my 2 nickels look like dimes, that's what I do, right? But the Lord did have a conversation with me the other day. Girl, not only is them bras messing y'all up to die in them things, y'all don't wash them. You're just walking around and die, just soaking into your body and things like that. Y'all don't come fight with nothing. So for probably like the last 3 weeks, I've been out of the bra. But the thing that we got to understand, man, is some of us humans, man, we're not right, man. And I'm throwing myself up in there too, man, because I don't do everything right too, man. But some of us humans, we talk a lot. Oh, we want people to do this and do that, follow us and this and this and learn this and learn that. And then, yes, well, the Lord was covering me when I was stealing too. He was covering me when I was out there cheating, manipulating, fornicating, and all that. But it ain't right. And what we have a problem with in society is all humans. We don't like to check ourselves. We want to check everybody else. We don't be as holier and thou as we put out and project others to be. I know what is the right thing to do, but I don't do the right thing all the time. In this world, we have so many fakes and phonies and liars and hypocrites, and that's why we're not following. Don't worry about what you said, Jim Jones, what you said, the broad female cancer. Ain't nobody listening to you, Jim. You done already killed all these folks with Kool-Aid. We have to make our own decisions, and God is the ultimate person. The only thing that God told me is that when I start talking to people, he said, this is what you need to remember when you talk to people. You need to let them see you and all of you and what I do through you, because you can't convert nobody. That's my job. So I think as humans, we just got to be more compassionate. Don't look to change people's minds. Let God change people's minds. But at the end of the day, we really need to check ourselves, man, for real, because we don't do right. We look so righteous, but in the background, we fornicators, liars, cheaters, wife beaters, stealers, thieves, and all of this, that, and third, man. It's crazy.
Absolutely. We got another caller from the 443 area code 443. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, morning, buddy. It's Kurt, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's
How
going on?
y'all doing, son?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, brother. asking the question, man, what is one of the things that women don't understand about us as men, Curtis?
Wow. We got feelings too.
Mm.
Oh, y'all don't. Y'all can take anything and everything.
We got feelings too. We might not never talk about it. We might not never voice it. I mean, society has dictated that a man don't voice that. The minute he does is the minute he's exploited or taking it soft and or weak. And he wind up putting them pebbles in his hand and doing what he do. But men got feelings too, man. Mm-hmm. Especially the African American community. You know, I'm reminded of something an old lady I used to take care of told me, man, a lesson she taught me, man. We used to talk about a little bit of everything, from politics to music to art, culture, reincarnation. And she said to me, she said, you know, if reincarnation is real, when God sent me back here, I want to come back as two things. And I said, well, what's that? And she said, I either want to come back here as a white man or a black woman. And I looked at her and I was like, you know, the human in me said, well, why wouldn't you want to come back as a white woman? And she said, baby, a white man and a black woman, one got what everybody think they need and the other one got what everybody know they want. And it just blew my mind, man, because, you know, a lot of times we disregard the history, we disregard the situation, we disregard the circumstances, we disregard all these things when it comes down to our black men. But we hold them accountable for all of the situations and circumstances. And we have a tendency to make them feel like, you know, I see it every day in the work that I do part-time. I have a tendency to make them feel like they fail. We have a tendency to make them feel like they failing all the time. And it's not just women, that's doing it. It's other black men, other black accomplished men. Have other black men who might not just be there yet. And they browbeaten too. I mean, I'm just speaking as a black man, you know what I mean? With two black sons.
Yeah.
You know, why is it that my son gotta run a 4 flat or a 3-9 to get a look when another person's son can run a 4-6, he get a look and a larger contract? Why is it that my son gotta go to Jupiter to get a look when your son, all he gotta do is just get on the plane? All you gotta do is get on the shuttle. So there's a whole lot of issues and things that we don't address. I mean, largely because of the separation and the denigration of our people. But there's a lot of history that we don't like to talk about, like truly talk about, that clearly affects what we got going on. I watch, Raheem, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I mean, though I'm with you because I'm off today, but I watched what's the name last night, y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all I had to turn it off because that thing was making me angry. I watched. I started watching
Underground Railroad.
Railroad. Last night. And you know, to me personally, it's a shame. It's a shame that we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Because that's the closest I've seen yet to the actual history of what really was going on. And I lay here, Raheem, and I don't know if when you watched it, did you do this? Did it make you count, Raheem? Did it make you realistically, hold on now, slavery started such and such, such and such. Okay.
Doing the math.
It started making me map this thing, and I'm like, Hold on, man. That is well over. That's not 2, 3, 4 generations. That is well over 100+ generations.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go generational by a decade, that is well over 100+ generations.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get back from that?
Exactly. Hold on, Kurt. Let me move on. I want to pull some more people into the conversation. Don't go nowhere, brother. Badger, what's on your heart?
Quite a lot actually.
Mm-hmm.
What I was trying to get at earlier before I was just cut off was in the civilized world, or what was considered the civilized world, and they started to infect the rest of the world. A lot of these things that are now considered wrong, bad, evil, or that causes a bunch of medical problems.
Let's deal with some clarity here. When you say the civilized world and infiltrate into a regular civilized world, what civilized world are you speaking of?
I guess what happened over in England, Roman Empire, Greek, all that stuff.
You talk about Western civilization.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And as it slowly went across the world, and I mean, even there in Chinatown, those emperors and things like that, they go out in the countries and out into the country and the boondocks or whatever terminology a person wants to use. And they were telling people that, where men and women were equal, each one had their jobs and things like that. The men knew if they didn't do their jobs, they were going to have some serious issues with the entire tribe or community or whatever terminology a person wants to use. And same with the woman. There was equal. And then you get into all that stuff where men started to say that women were less than, and things evolved over time where even men had to dress a certain particular way, and if they didn't dress or wear those things, they were not rich. They weren't whatever the situation was. Now we are where we are today. If a woman's out breastfeeding, people get offended or it's distracting or it's da 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 da. And I sit there and I'm looking like she's using what her body's made for. Why is that a problem? Like, God, that's her gift from God to be able to do those things. Why is that a problem? And then I see all the reasons, and it's more men than women that have these problems.
Let me ask you a question. It's going to seem like it's far left, but I want to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
If a man and a woman is in a park and they decided that they wanted to have intercourse in that particular park, are they wrong?
To me, I guess it depends on the park.
Wow.
Normally, that would be done, between a couple or things like that, where people aren't watching. Yet, way back when, it was just considered part of life.
So it wouldn't be
So
if they're in a public park. Let me go a little further. In a public park, there's other people there. Everybody walking around, kids out there playing or whatever, and they decide that they just want to have intercourse in that park. Would they be wrong?
I can't answer that yes or no.
Wow. Okay.
Because to me, for one, it depends on the individuals. Two, depending on how far back you go, it was considered part of life. So even younger children knew that was part of life.
See,
And
you're trying to justify it by using a time scale, but we're talking about right now.
I know we're talking about right now. So if we're talking about right now, like if they're up in New York and they do it in a park,
yes,
no, everyone's going to condemn them for it.
Mm-hmm. So you would say they would be wrong?
I'm not going to say that they're wrong.
Okay.
People would say that they were wrong.
Okay, but
it's not my place to judge.
Okay, that's beautiful. Let me keep this thing going because Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Hold on.
I'm just listening
If he
to
if he had his
the
hold on,
conversation.
if he had his children with him, and he walked up on that, would he not judge them and keep going?
No, I wouldn't. I tell them that, hey, that's part of life. They probably shouldn't be doing that in public. Let's go somewhere else.
They probably shouldn't be doing that in public. So you still would be saying that it is not right.
No, I would be going with what the social norm is to teach them.
You're not gonna get a direct answer, bro. You're not gonna get a direct answer. Leonard, what's on
Can
your
I
heart?
finish what I was saying, please?
Hold on. Go ahead, Leonard. What's on your heart?
Well, I'm just listening, and I can honestly tell you, these are conversations I usually don't get into because, like with Badger saying, I completely understand what he's saying. It's not about being right or wrong; it's illegal. That's why you shouldn't do it in public because it's illegal to do. It has nothing to do with right or wrong at all.
It has everything to do with right or wrong.
It's illegal.
No, to me, and that's your perspective, and I respect that. But
Well,
with me,
is it legal to have sex in public?
I don't know if it's legal or not. I don't know.
No, it's not.
But my thing is this right here. I'm not. I don't want. If my young kids, I have 4 daughters. I have my young 4 daughters. We walking in the park and we see this joke and this girl in the park, in a crowded park doing something. I'm gonna have hold on. It's gonna be offensive to me because I don't need my children. So if you want to do that, that's fine.
So your job is to take your children somewhere else or call the police, right?
My job is to do what I need to do at that particular time, regardless.
Okay.
Yes. But my thing is this right here. I say, and from where I'm sitting, that's wrong. And like I said, if you want to do that, that's beautiful. 2 adults, do what you want to do, but don't do it here. Go to a place that's where you can do that. Go to your own home. Go home and do that. Go home.
I do understand, but I see a lot of people doing terrible things in public. So I just equate it to what they are doing. I see a lot of people urinating in public. I see a lot of people just doing drugs in public and doing these things are all illegal things to do.
Absolutely.
So the issue, I'm not sure, is whether or not my value judgment of that. I know I'm not going to do that. But you know, it's the same thing with I see 2 dogs in the park doing it. You know, that's what I think of you as. That's what I would immediately think of. Oh, they doing it like dogs do in public.
Okay.
But see, they're still dogs. So I can't change the fact that they're dogs. You know what I'm saying? So when I see people doing so, I'm really against a lot of PDA, right? Public displays of affection.
Yeah.
But I see people doing that, and I think that is inappropriate. But you know what? I go my separate way. And I don't conduct myself that way. So everyone has different issues. I remember in the beginning of this conversation when I came in, we were talking about, what were we talking about? Someone's breast, I guess.
Yeah.
And I really did not understand what the issue was as it relates to that, because there is a public law that addresses public nudity, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the issue. It's not your feelings. You can if you want to come outside, I could care less, because that's just what you're going to do. That's how you're going to behave, how you want to behave. So if a woman chooses to do anything, it's her choice. And it's not that of a man to pretend to know that he knows what's best for her.
Thank you, Leonard.
But see, my thing
so each individual has to understand my ways may not be your ways. And in a civilized society, we have come to the table to decide the norms of our society. And if you do not want to participate in our society, you can go somewhere else. They have nude beaches and nude this and nude that for people who want to be nudist.
But see,
they have nudist colonies that people can live in.
But the thing about that, Leonard, is this right here. And you're absolutely right. They do. But they have those places set aside for the people. Those places if they want to be there. That's not a part of what's going on over here.
So if the places are set aside for that, there's no longer a value judgment. Because one, there's a set aside for that. There are communities in Florida where clothing is optional because those communities have decided this is how they want to live.
Those communities.
Right.
Again,
think of that. America is a very big community where we have decided that individuals shouldn't walk around nude completely.
Exactly. Hold on, Leonard.
However, you have men who walk around shirtless.
I understand. Hold on. Let me pull some more people into the conversation. Hold on for a minute. I love where you're going, but give me 1 second. Let me Minister Neal, are you still with us? Minister Neal, are you still with us? We got another caller from the 816 area code. I think that's K with the E. K with the E, you there?
You know it.
What's going on, sis? How you doing?
Bless. What's going on?
Well, I need to hear your heart. You've been listening to the conversation for a minute, sis. What's on your heart?
Man, I don't know where y'all at with it because I done heard breath. I done heard all kinds of stuff. I'm lost with it. You know why I'm lost with it? Because we got that gay community now, and it's a funky mess. And so, I don't know, like, you definitely feel like. And so I know, like I've been living in Kansas City long enough to know that if I go over here, I ain't gonna tell them what I might see. That's not an area for Kate to take her grandkids because everything goes on over there. They doing drugs, they drinking, everything goes on. But my grandkids don't go to places. I don't take them, so I don't have to worry about it because it's not safe to go to nobody because they in the park doing whatever they want to do because they grown. It's not safe to walk up to them and say, y'all need to go somewhere else. So you can lose your life like that in your kid's life, and your kids really don't see something. So I'm not going to never do that one. But I will walk away and be like, I will never take my kids to that park again. I will call in and report it so that nobody else would have to be submitted to it. But I would never go back to that park again. And I would never go back to that area again. When I went to LA, I seen so much. I was like, oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. I seen a lot. Then I went to Vegas and I seen worse. So I was like, oh my goodness. They took my granddaughter to Vegas 2 months ago. They decided to walk the strip at night. She came home and said, Grandma, she's a little chunky. I'm losing weight because I'm going back to Vegas in June with y'all. And I'm going to wear me a two-piece because that's all they had on was a two-piece or a one-piece or a no-piece. Like they walked around half naked for real, really naked. And she thought that it was just really okay. She just got fascinated by it. I said, Chloe, no, you're not. You ain't even old enough to think like that. I just had to change her whole demeanor about it. And I went and bought her a real pretty swimsuit and told her, you can't walk around in your swimsuit, but it's how you wear it. I said, we're going to teach you at a young age. You will grow up. I said, you was born a queen, but you'll grow up a diva. I said, so that's what I will do with you. So no, I don't think that if women walk around and dress how they want to dress, but if you in a relationship and your husband or your man let you walk out the door like that, that's a respect level. You're not respecting yourself and you ain't respecting your husband or your man. And that's it. And I'm old, so I'm not gonna walk out the door with all this showing in. No, because that means somebody is seeing what my man is seeing. My husband is seeing. Not for everybody to see. I'm very old fashioned. I don't play that.
That's good. That's good. Tina, what's on your heart, sis? Tina, you there? Toya with a T, talk to me.
Hey man, deep conversation. You know, the thing is, I pray to God every day that He forgive me for my sins, seen and unseen, known and unknown, because sometimes we don't know. Believe it or not, this era, right? When they encourage the girlfriend to walk out in the skimpiest thing, they don't look at it as a disrespect thing. That's their kind of their culture. And, oh yeah, they wear that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they're used to. That's what they've adapted to. That's what they have taken dominion over, saying it's okay to not wear so much clothes, to not get married and have kids, to, you know, do the so-called what I gotta do thing in the background. But not only that, we gotta keep in mind, you know, remember we was raising them, when you get 18, you can do what you want to do. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't true.
Yeah.
That wasn't true. You can't do what you want to do. If you got to do what you're supposed to do, and then we're supposed to teach them the morals and ethics. And let me tell you something. I came from a Christian home. I'm from morals and ethics. Let me tell you something. I didn't want to follow them because Christians was always getting short another stick. So I'm gonna do what I want to do in Jesus' name and make it righteous. But I paid consequences for it because you reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us are, and I'm gonna be real. I was possessed when I was walking around because I had a nice body. I was like, oh no, all these fat folks walking around with their clothes on. I know you not. I'm finna what? And that's what I did. But again, I couldn't be thinking about what the Lord was saying and putting clothes on. I had to rebuke him. Lord, no, I'm finna wear this short see-through thing today, honey. Let me take somebody run up on me. I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. But I know better. And a lot of these people, we haven't trained them better. We tell them to do what they want to do, and that's what they're doing. We got to reel them back in. At my age, you know what I'm doing with my nieces and nephews? They right behind me. I started having nieces and nephews at 6. They got more kids than me. You know what I'm going back telling them? I was wrong. I was deceived. I was yes. That's not of the Lord. And now I have to recorrect while I watch them make the same mistakes that I help influence.
Mm-hmm.
I have to talk to them and teach them and correct them that that's not the right thing to do. Men shouldn't do this. The girls shouldn't do this. We women shouldn't do that. I get it. I'm a woman because this is what we do culture. But the right thing to do, and then I let them make their own best decision. I'm doing it right now with my nephew and his baby's mother.
Mm-hmm.
I have to teach them. I have to let them know. Sincerely, this is not about forcing you. You are adults, but let me let you know that our culture was wrong in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I want what's best for you, and I'm doing the best that I can to be the epitome of a woman that God wants me to be. Not what the United States want me to be, not what black folk want me to be, not what my family want me to be. I'm being the epitome of a black woman and what I want God want me to be. And if you believe in him and you want what he got to offer, this is the time where we clean up our mess and we stand up and we represent God to the fullest and black people with greatness and excellence.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I think I'm gonna be hitting right along with what she was talking about. You know, people love doing what they want to do. They love doing what they want to do so much that they try their best to ignore the potential risk. And when those potential risks end up being a consequence, or go and deflect from their part that they played in that perfect storm. See, sometimes two perfect strangers can meet up and end up in a car accident at the end of the day, and both of them end up dead. But it took the perfect scenario, the perfect storm. See, somebody could have woke up 5 minutes later and probably kept that accident from happening.
Mm-hmm.
You have a perfect storm. Some things you play a part in, some things you don't. It may be innocent, but whatever part you played in it, you have to accept accountability on it. And sometimes people do it when it's too late. Oh, if I had only left 5 minutes earlier, I would have caught them before they did this. If I had only this, see, we like to go back and say we wish we would or we wish we could have, but sometimes we want to do what we want to do so much that, like I said, we ignore the possible consequences or the risk that's out there. So I was hitting on the clothes earlier. You know, sometimes a woman might not want to realize that maybe that dude wouldn't have even had his eyes locked on me had I not attracted his attention. Cause why did he choose me out of all these other women? It was other women around here look better than me. Not me, but why he picked me?
Mm-hmm.
You were vulnerable. Maybe you were the most vulnerable. Maybe you were the easiest for him to access.
Mm-hmm.
So now, with us having to accept the consequences behind taking those possible risks because we want to do what we want to do, we have Mr. Andrew Brown, as a grown man and a father, has been watching black men get killed by police left and right for the past decade, maybe since Rodney King. And if he's been paying attention to it, he should have known that when them people jumped off their truck with them guns, he probably could have ended up just like the rest of them. So what he should have did, he should have did what was in his best interest. He should have did what was in his best interest. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they were right for what they did. You know, everybody's mad at them, but just think, had he not ran, just think, had he seen them pulling up and knew, okay, they coming to get me, Let me get out of here, put my hands up and let them know I ain't got nothing to lay down on the ground now, because I don't want them putting their knees on my back, on my neck. I don't want 8 of them jumping on top of me and punching me in my face because they gung-ho, and I know what they do to us black men. Nah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the gas and run, and then I know this same system will use this car as a weapon. They'll use any excuse possible to justify what they did. So I'm putting myself at potential risk, want to do what I want to do. He wanted to run.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no matter how wrong those police are, they ain't going to jail. They're getting off because they got an excuse. You hear what I'm saying? But he did what he wanted to do. Just like some of the women I know that wore the clothes they wanted to know did what they wanted to do. And they still refuse to accept that the only reason that man picked you is because he seen everything you was working with. How you know? I heard him.
Mm-hmm.
I heard men say that before. Yes, I mean, look, I've been out here in this world having a good time. I didn't have to go to the strip club to see women get naked and dance. I could get them to the house and do it.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to be the stripper. Then you would hear a deviant mind every now and then that wouldn't be enjoying the festivities, but they would make a comment. Ah, rape them hoes. What? Where that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Brad ain't done something ain't right, but you wouldn't be able to look at this man and tell because he got women, he got children, he got daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in here with a whole community of other men having a good time and having a real good immoral time. But he wanted to do something deviant and evil.
Wow.
Wow. Those women didn't even know they were at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what I did as a concerned person? Not out of control, but out of concern. Y'all don't need to be doing this. If y'all gonna do this, y'all need to go to a club where y'all got security.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta tell us what we can do. Take our clothes off when we get ready. Wherever we want to.
Wow. Let me go. Exactly. Later, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, you actually protected some ladies in situations similar to that, right?
I have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, one thing that is different, I help people who want help.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't insert myself in other people's situation that way. So one, whatever someone's doing is what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 kids. They're the only 2 I got. Ain't nobody got no business calling me daddy but my 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
I have 1 wife. Ain't nobody got no business calling me husband but 1 woman.
Mm-hmm.
I am not everybody's father. I am not everybody's protector or anything of that nature. When I can help someone, I will.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never me have with this huge paternalistic type attitude towards other people.
Mm-hmm.
Christ is my elder brother, and the Father is God.
Mm-hmm.
So the notion that I have any right whatsoever to impose myself upon someone, to me, is rather vile.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever you want to do. That is a fact. Now, the consequences of what you do may be different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when people say you can't do what you want to do, those people have not reached a level of living where you understand you can do what you want to do. You know why? Because God says you can do what you want to do.
Wow. Wow.
You can choose what you would like to do in this world. You can choose to worship the devil. You can choose to engage in anything that you want to do as a person, as a human being. It just may not be wise to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear people trying to tell other people and you know how that's part of the game, like God is this argument about the bra.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bras cause breast cancer. But was that your real issue? Or was that just an additional fact to get me to lean towards your point of view?
Mm-hmm.
You see, because that's what it's about. And when we're talking about all these things and what this is and what's this set up and what's that set up, I got a whole family that does what they want to do. Most of the people I know do what they want to do. That's why they end up in these different circumstances. So you may not be doing certain things, but other people don't have those same inhibitions as you do. For whatever reason you have them. Maybe you have a religion that dictates this to you. Everybody don't have your religion. And so we're always trying to impose ourselves on other people. And we think just because you think it's right or wrong, that it actually is. And it may not be. But if you get caught up in these attitudes and believing that whatever you say is right and everything like that, you're going to fail. You're going to run into a dilemma. What are you doing that is not right? Are you doing everything that's right?
No.
Then
No.
why would you expect someone else to?
Exactly. Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
The things of society, what's deemed normal and what isn't normal, I think is probably one of the biggest issues that we face today. There's a lot of different perceptions, and then there's the collective perceptions. And some people hold on to them so strongly that they don't want to hear any other perspective. Or only hear half of what's being said and assume it's a thought process that it isn't. And that's something, with the way I'm allowed to see the world and my experiences growing up and stuff, seeing two different worlds and being introduced to other people's worlds and their points of views based on either where they live or their perceptions because of who they are. And I saw the shirt on Amazon that I absolutely had to get because it speaks very loudly to the way I am. And it talks about, the more I hear, the more I see, and so the more I learn, the more I learn, the more I know, the more I know, the more I hear. It's talking about being quiet and listening, observing. Don't speak unless you weigh you weigh it first. And to me, it's very powerful because that's something that in society a lot of people don't do anymore. Everyone wants to force their belief or their ideas and make other people follow them, or they'll condemn them if they don't. That's one of the reasons, I stand firm with certain things about, like, when I make the comment that I'm not a lion, I'm a badger. Because it's my way of showing that, same with autism. I'm autistic, but I don't fit the normal mold. Nobody does. It's a spectrum. Being a human being is a spectrum. We all come with our own issues, our own experiences, our own personal views of how we get through every moment of our lives. It's the individual. And when we come together to make a community, it's the individual of each. It's each individual within that community that gives the puzzle piece of how that whole community functions. So when there are puzzle pieces that are really rough, and a lot of times people will pay attention to those rough pieces before they'll pay attention to the smooth ones. And it draws this picture of what they think everyone in that community is like. It's very interesting when you pay attention and look at those things. That's why a lot of times it takes me a while to say anything, because I'm gathering words, I'm looking for words, because my views of life is very community oriented, very matriarch. I'm very much women should run this world, not men, and that's my way. That's my individual way of how I see this world.
Okay.
Because I see all the issues that are going on, and the ego, the pride, people talking all this good talk, but their actions are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so actions and words and actions don't match anymore. And too many people in the in each type or different communities, you know, you'll have a handful of people that do their best to live right, and when they get together and do their best to voice things or to share things, they're butcherized, they're crucified, they're judged by the rest of them because they don't agree with the way they see things.
Good deal. Good deal. Okay. That's good. Let me go to our Goddess. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis? Goddess, you there?
I got a lot of people. Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
Thanks, Badger. That was a great opening statement. Badger basically put the nail on the head. And the reason why I said certain things, because I do wear a bra, but I don't wear them all the time. Because I know that I'm learning more and more, and I'm trying to learn not to think like society has taught us to think. And we started off talking this morning about the legal system, the systematic oppression. My brother mentioned about the movie that he showed on TV, that was on TV, Netflix, Underground Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
If those two people didn't question certain things that was going on, you know, when they finally got to a new town and they taught them how to dress and taught them how to read, but she got to walking down the street and she said, "There's something funny. There's no babies around here. There's no black babies." Not knowing that they were trying to get these people, these women, and giving them tubal ligation so they couldn't expand.
Mm-hmm.
The black men, they're giving them pills that said vitamins, and it was killing them. But yet and still, you know, I don't know how to put it. You've got to question what society is brought to you, because there is systematic oppression. Everybody get up every morning. I bet you they brush their teeth with fluoride. Bet you they did. Guess what? It's cancer. Mm-hmm. Majority of our people, we so worried about this flu that the coronavirus, or whatever the name of it is, we forgot that more people are dying of cancer. We got to put in systematic oppression is so big that we don't even question the prosecutor. And we're showing them more and more that prosecutorial misconduct is wide. It's just all over the United States now. It's like opening doors now. You know, that was just the way of systematic oppression is done. So I said that just to see what other people will say. Sometimes you put things out here. I put not wearing a bra. Everybody went to walking around butt ass naked.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Good deal.
Wearing a bra has, I mean, went to walking around his butt ass naked.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do this. Got to keep it moving. Let's go to Cable to E. What's on your heart, sis?
Oh no, but I ain't trying. I'm just saying it's a gospel show, so we gotta watch our words and stuff. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that women to walk around like that, you're advertising. I don't care what nobody says. My mama told me you're advertising. When I was 16, and I went and bought me these pretty little shorts, and they was really cute. But my mama said, you're advertising. What you got to sell? So I said, my mind, and I don't think nobody can buy it. She said, I love your answers, but what you're showing me, your appearance, it's don't speak before your mouth speaks in your advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So I raised my kids the same way, but I have a daughter, I have a couple, 3 of them, and they love to advertise. And I tell them that. And I tell their boyfriends, y'all ain't real men. I tell them all the time, because y'all allow them to wear anything and dress any kind of way just because they with you. I said, so Bob see all your butt, Bob see all your stretch marks. I said, he see everything that nobody should see unless they undress you. And that's what my mama told me. But when they get grown, they want to do what they want to do, and they want to follow the fashion trend. Well, go ahead and follow the fashion trend. I told them this summer is going to be a funky mess. Because when it got hot, we had big girls and just panties and half tops with everything else. They even showing their body now. And I just said, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's all I can say. It's just a bunch of prayer needed all over the world.
Yep.
Because that is not the key, and that was not ideal. And we did not just drop out the sky butt naked and had to go back clothes. We was born into this world naked, and they immediately cleaned us up, put a diaper on us, wrapped us up, and dressed us. So we was not intended to walk around naked and showing our bodies, because as a kid, they always covered us up. We came out the womb and they covered us, cleaned us, and covered us.
Yeah.
So I don't know what nobody else thinks, but they might need to want to rethink it and read the word. Can't read the word and do the world. That don't go.
Wow. Wow. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Well, brother, there's a lot in that, because if man, I'm gonna shut up because some church folk gonna get mad at me. No, I'm not. Ain't no church folk gonna get mad. You know it.
Hold on. Can't hear everybody one time. Go ahead, Kurt.
First and foremost, when you read your scripture, the clothing was the result of man being ignorant, of man being begilded or beguiled, or however you want to put it. I'll break it down and say, of man being tricked and allowing for himself not to hear the word of God, not to understand the word of God, nor to pay attention to the absence of God. So in all reality, when we came to this world naked to be taught, but we refused to be taught by the right person. We chose to be taught by, some people call it a serpent, some people call it a ghost, some people call it a multitude of things. Beelzebub, Lucifer. We ain't even supposed to say the name Lucifer no more, but we use that every once in a while. So when we came here naked. The reason why we were clothed is because in our ignorance, we knew we had done wrong ignorantly, so we tried to hide it. Now, I heard the sister talk about not wearing a bra. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to state it plainly. I need to know when y'all women going to stop letting us men dictate and tell y'all what y'all can be, who y'all can be, when y'all can be it, and how y'all can do it. I need to know that. Because at some point, you have to tell us, because everything in this world is driven by you. It's not driven by men. You know, people look off hip hop stars, gospel folk and church folk look off hip hop stars. They look off R&B singers. They look off a whole bunch of other people to deny that these people are the ones that's actually sitting down and telling you, look, this is what's going on, y'all. Here's the truth. I'm always reminded of the Jay-Z, and as much as I hate to say it, the R. Kelly song, the power of, because it's powerful. And all of these men out here are doing what they're doing in order to achieve more of it. So that tells you where your power is. And I did an experiment. I did a social experiment that proved my statement that I just made. When everybody was sagging, all my kids were sagging, I had 15 high management boys who wanted to sag their pants. I had 15 high management girls who were showing them that they liked that. So I did a social experiment. I pulled the girls to the side on their wing. I said, look, I need y'all to do me a favor. Any one of them boys that come out that room, that come out their side, and they pants sag and don't speak to them at all. I mean, not even a hi. Well, what you mean, sir? No, I just need you to do it for me. I need you to do it for a week. Straight. Can y'all do that for me? I got pizza for everybody. Oh, not a problem. Yes, sir. We're going to have a pizza party. Not a problem. I didn't tell the boys what I did. Sure enough, the week went by. Next thing you know, I got every boy on that unit like, hey, Miss Kirk, hey, we need to go to the Walmart because I need to get a belt. Well, what you need to get a belt for, huh? Man, I just want to make sure I look a little jazzy. Okay, if you go back in the history, if you go back into the 20s, what they call the roaring 20s, a black man did not leave out of his house without being laced. Strapped, laced, and booted. Suited and booted is what they used to call it. Nice suit, nice hat, haircut. You didn't leave out your house looking any old kind of way. Why? Because the women was dictating, okay, hey, you're not going to come around me in them dirty jeans, shoes leaning all on the side. No, straighten that up. So the world is dictated by y'all. And I just wish the time would come where y'all will stop letting us men, we just seen it. If y'all not paying attention, you can't blame me as a black man for you not paying attention. We just seen it in Texas. The governor surrounded by a room full of men, signed the most restrictive abortion law in history.
Yep.
Now, if you with it or if you against it, I get it. But that still does not give me the right to tell you as a woman what to do with your body. That's between you and your God. Lastly, I'll say this. Somewhere I read that in the words of Jesus, Jesus said, I did not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill the prophecy. So I think we need to get back to what the law really was if we're going to do that. If that's what we're going to do, get back to what the law really is. You know, somewhere I read it says, I'd rather dwell on a tin roof than to deal with a quarrelsome and nagging woman.
Right.
That's in the Bible. I ain't make that up.
Good deal. Wrap it up for me, Kirk. Gotta keep it moving, brother.
So, I mean, right here, I get what the sisters are saying. I get what everybody is saying. But I'm going to end it like this right here. When folks learn to do God's work and stop trying to do God's job, I think we'd be in a better place, brother.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
Tina, are you there?
Important.
Tina, are you there?
I'm here, Isaac.
Okay, what's on your heart?
I'm here. I don't know. I, when they talk about men and women, and you know, basically they're talking about being submissive, women being submissive to men. I could say in the situation of a relationship, I was submissive, and I can say in a situation where I wasn't submissive. But not being submissive was because of the demeanor of the man and how he treated me. And that's why I'm not still with him. So it all depends on what a woman is going to deal with and what a woman is not going to deal with. That's the same thing as men. You know, like a man will meet a woman, and to him, his thing is, okay, this woman can't have any kids in order for me to date her, you know. And then he find out she has kids, and then it's like right away he pulls all interest from it. Whereas her kids, it's like her kids come with her. So he has that choice, and that choice that he made is to stand on his choice. Nobody can be mad at him for that. Nobody can take that from him for that. It could be a wrong thing that he did, but to him, that was his choice. And because it was his choice, he stuck by it. That's like a woman. Some women. Oh, I was watching a show one time where this woman, she was dating this guy, and the guy had kids, and she didn't expect to be dating a man that had kids, and so she made that choice of her own to say, hey, no, I don't want to date you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the person's choices of what you choose within yourself, what you don't want to deal with. And nobody can be mad at someone because of that. Now, if their choices was something just out of the ordinary, then yeah, okay, tell me why. But then most of the time, a man don't want to give an explanation. Like what's the name was saying earlier, how a man will ask how a woman's day is. And yeah, we're more elaborate. We are more elaborate. But a man knows we're more elaborate. Not all women, but most women are more elaborate. Because honestly, by a man saying how you ask how his day and you say okay, so you're killing the conversation. You're killing the true conversation of wanting to know how someone's day is by just saying okay. They don't have to go and elaborate as much, but communicate, talk amongst each other. Because something I may say in my day that he may be able to say, well, baby, why don't you try this tomorrow? Just like the man telling the woman, elaborating on his day, his woman telling him, hey, baby, why don't you try this tomorrow? And then they can come back the next day and say, okay, that worked for me, or that didn't work for me. It continuously helps to keep a conversation going instead of the okay, or just those one word responses.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't like one word responses. I don't, because it holds no conversation with the one word response.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm gonna go to K with an E and Toya with a T. Be on standby. I'm coming to you next. K.
Yeah.
I understand what everybody is saying, and when it's gonna come a point in the time where the woman is gonna not stop letting the man dictate how she did what she do or how. But what and if that be the case, what are we gonna do with Ephesians 5:22?
You said Ephesians when?
What are we going to do if that be the case? What are we going to do with Ephesians 5:22?
Ephesians 5:22, is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I have literally been my own woman for a long time. And when I steered away from the word of God, I came back. I steered away, I'm human. And I came back. And I can honestly say that when I do things I ain't supposed to do, say something I ain't supposed to say, that God do, he checks me. Like they say, nudge me when I said enough. My mama had a little thing on the wall and asked, dear Lord, please nudge me when I said enough. And she would just say stuff at just quick. And don't even realize, Mom, you can hurt that girl's feelings. You think about it, like, well, I can't take that girl. I said because I meant that. I didn't even say how I said it.
Exactly.
She put the thing on the wall and said she asked the Lord to nudge her when she said enough. So that's what I do now.
Okay.
And no man has never dictated to me where I can go, when I can go, how I can go, or none of that. Never. I've never had a man to do that to me. My daddy did it when I was growing up. For instance, I don't think she should go there. My dad can't go there. That's what parents are supposed to do. And once I grew up, my daddy and mom already raised me. So I never had a man to tell me that.
Okay.
Had plenty of arguments because they tried.
But in Ephesians 5:22 says this: wives, submit to your husband, submit yourselves unto your husband as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. He is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husband, love your wife. And then he tell the husband what to do. He said, husbands, love your wives as Christ also loved the church and give himself to it. That's okay. What are we gonna do with that? Huh?
But what did he say? What did he say? I can't even think of the scripture. That's crazy. I want to say it's in Deuteronomy. What did he say about if the husband ain't doing all those things he's supposed to do? And he's abusing her, whether it's verbally, physically, sexually, mentally. And how do you come about with that divorce decree?
Well, that's just what you said. He said, like I say, if there's adultery or some things of that nature, it's actually written out where when divorce is appropriate. It's written out in Deuteronomy.
Well, I was married 17 and a half years, and I was very submissive to have a husband in a marriage that long.
Mm-hmm.
And I got married in 10 years. So I got married 17 and a half years with the same man. And when he stepped out one too many times, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the pastor and talked to the pastor about it. He didn't want to go talk to the pastor, and I divorced him.
Mm-hmm.
When I got married that second time, I took him to the pastor too. I took him to his pastor, then I went to my pastor, then I went to a pastor that neither one of us know. And each pastor told me after our meeting, and got me by myself and said, well, it looks like you're going to have to divorce this man.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's being disobedient to God's word.
Yeah.
And we're not going to tell you to stay there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's what I do.
Okay. Toy, you want to teach?
Now I have a husband.
I have a question, Rodney.
Strong with a pastor on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to be submissive to what he's trying to do.
Okay. Good deal. Good. Let me go to Toya with a T, and then let me say you have a question. I'll come to you next. Toya with a T, what's on your heart?
Yeah, you know, if anybody gonna resist submission, it's gonna be me. But see, I was raised by my daddy. My father, God, knows exactly what I mean. Which is kind of why I was resistant to the Lord too, because men had been me in a way. But when we draw a scripture, I got to read the whole thing, honey. I really can't go get pieces. Because we're supposed to submit to each other. I thought that's what 5:21 says. You know, we're supposed to submit to each other. It's just not the wife's job to submit, but also the husband and me. But if he submitted to God first, then he'll know his goal and when you need to be submissive. So you got to make it to mind. You're going to be a punk, you're going to be submissive. What you going to do? You're going to be a man, you're going to be a man, and everything you can't be, oh baby, oh baby. So it's a fine line that we really need to be honest about. That as a woman, when we don't want to be honest about submitting our power over to any man, right? But once I learned how to submit my power over to Father God, I understand why it's important for him to choose the man that he wants me to be with. Because he knows, I don't do everything you want to, so I'm not going to do everything you say. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it's not about submission. Like how can you love someone and not want to make it better? Want to be resistant, want to make it harder. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's other underlying problems. You know, ultimately, at the end of the day, we have dominion with one person, and that's my Father God, right? And there are some things, I choose my sins wisely, bro. And I'm grateful that I ain't got no problem wearing something short. You're not going to see no butt cheeks hanging. But I'm going to rock it short because I still got the body for it. And I'm cool with that other than being nasty. I'm cool with smoking a cigarette other than being a lying, thieving, conniving son of a gun around here acting like I've never spoken, doing stuff before and really not lying. I'd rather be a fornicator than to take somebody's money, act like he's moving into something, and I'm going to take the money and just make all these old lies and excuses up. And it's a lot of things that we do out here in the country that the Lord has not seen.
Exactly. Everybody mute your line. We got some background noise coming through. Everybody mute your line for me. Got some background noise coming through real bad.
Well, Lord, they smokers and they drinkers, yeah, but they not liars and thieves. They feed each other. They go out their way to feed each other. Let me say something. You give a homeless man food, he goes share with the other one. Yep. Yeah, we walking around, got money, got food. You get your plate, you act like you don't even want to get nobody none. Come on with the joke.
Exactly.
We choose to do what we want to do, and God does it accordingly. So stop using that energy as a distraction. Leave folks alone. Leave them alone. Let them do what they do. Love them. Pray on them. If you know the right thing, matter of fact, don't tell them the right thing. Tell them what thus said the Lord. Let the Lord tell you. Leave folks alone. And let the Lord tell you what to tell them. And then you show the love of the Lord. That's it. I was trying to pick and choose. Oh, well, I'm throwing this out there too about the men, right? Well, I don't want nobody with kids. Well, we don't want nobody broke. We always negotiate when it comes to men. We don't always go to the woman to find this or the this or the that, but you want to come around here saying, oh, I don't want no kids, or I don't want nobody to do this, and there's nothing wrong with that. But how is that true love if you talking about I don't want to be with you because you don't get satisfied? And I get it, because if you don't have kids and don't want kids, and I know I'm 44, I know I'm behind schedule. There's a lot of men that got kids, but if you don't want more kids or don't want none, then I'm not the one for you. The problem is you play games and you still want to try to talk to me knowing you're lying behind. Oh, yeah, I have stuff for you. Oh, yeah, I'll do that for you. Oh, yeah, and you wasting my time. That's when the problem comes in, and this is why we have trust issues, and we don't trust each other, and we wasting time having this conversation right now instead of having a conversation on fighting and stick together. I don't care what's going on. We need to stay together. I don't care if you got kids. We need to be the epitome of what's on here.
Okay, we got some background noise coming from somebody's line real bad. Somebody on the phone, I need to mute the line so we don't have that noise. Leonard, you say you had a question?
Yes, and I want to ask this to the Christians. What do you do when your scriptures don't work?
You pray.
What are you praying about?
The scripture. I don't understand what the issue, whatever the issue is, Leonard. That's
okay. I remember us having it on. My point in asking is, I remember us having a conversation previously regarding authority and things of that nature.
Okay.
And I made the comment that whenever you're relying on a scripture to give you an authority, you should really take into consideration that reality. Because this is why you should do that. And when someone says, okay, well, this means somebody can beat you, kill you, that seems a dilemma there. There seems to be a dilemma there in either what man is misusing this scripture for and its intent or its actual origin. Because this is why it causes such a dilemma in your spirits. Because if you're going to just do what the word says, then do it. If that's who you want people to believe who you are. Because 9 times out of 10, the majority of people using the Bible as authority are horrible individuals.
That's painful. A real
because this particular scripture itself is almost equivalent to the notion of slavery and why it is justified.
Now that's your interpretation of it, Leonard. And so my thing.
However, but it says wives, and it only speaks to wives.
Leonard,
but it only speaks to wives.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. No, that's not.
Now,
true.
All of the other women, what about those who are not wives?
Okay. He's specifically speaking to the wives. In this particular scripture, he's speaking to the wives. And so unless if you're not a wife, then he's not talking to you. It's like I said, if I were to say, hold on, Leonard. If I were to say to you, okay, husbands, go out there and give $100 to this organization because we're putting our money together so we can go out there and feed the homeless. So husbands, I want you to go out there. I want you to give every husband to give $100 to this particular organization right here. And we all do it and we're effective in what we're doing. We're not talking to the single man. We say husbands. So what they're doing right now, they're specifically talking to a group of people which happen to be wives. Say wives to your husband, because those are the ones that are taking the covenant before God and sign that contract by saying, I do. They were asked a particular question. Do you take this husband? Do you take this husband to be your husband? And blah, blah, blah. They ask those questions. Y'all know the verbiage that goes along when you're married. They act, and when you say I do, that's you signing that. That's a piece of part of you signing that contract. You say I do. I do. Through sickness and health, to this and that, until death do you part.
And when the wives,
when you say I do, he's speaking to the wives.
And the wives said, but what about he beats me?
And that's what we talk about in Deuteronomy. That's the exit clause. If we equate this like a business, that's your exit clause right there. If he's beating you or committing adultery or different things like that, that's where it speaks about that in Deuteronomy.
Okay, because I wanted to make sure that everyone's issues had been addressed and not one that has always predominated the situation.
No. It's a specific verse for a specific group of people.
Right. So women understand how important it is that you not bind yourself to these types of men. That's your power. Don't become their wives.
There you go. And if you don't marry them, it's not speaking to you. If you're not their wife, it's not speaking to you. It's not saying girlfriends submit to your boyfriends. It's not saying that. It's saying wives submit to your husband, because you have committed, you have signed that contract when you said I do. The preacher asked you a specific question and he wanted a specific answer from you. And when you answer that question by saying I do, that is a part of you coming together and accepting everything that goes along with it.
Right. So women, use your power wisely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Go ahead.
Doesn't it also say something along the lines of that men should surrender to the woman?
No. What did it say to that?
And it says, I think it's on a matter of, and likewise, husbands.
Treat your woman. It's saying that you should love your wife. Love. He said, husband. The responsibility he give the husband is to love your wife just like Christ loved the church. And so that's with everything that's
all right. So in that 522 to 33, 31 and 32 is one that always stuck out to me. For the reason a man shall leave his mom and dad and be joined to his wife, the two shall become one flesh.
Okay.
The person that is writing this says this is a great mystery, but I speak in reference to Christ and church. And from my understanding, when you use the word but, you're pretty anything before that, you're null and voiding.
No, that's your interpretation. I can't tell you how to interpret it, but that's not what I get.
So
that's not my interpretation at all.
To me, if he's making the comment, this is a great mystery about the two becoming one flesh, it's always made me curious why that is considered a great mystery.
That's something you have to search within yourself, brother. I can't give you that. You have to read the word, and what the word says to you is what you get. But my thing is, I know that it says that husband, his responsibility is to love the wife like Christ loved the church, and that's withholding nothing. But if I was to tell you, I say, look here, we're gonna go on a cruise. We're gonna get on this cruise line, and we're gonna cruise from here to Hawaii. We're gonna cruise to Hawaii. We're gonna get all the passengers on here. We're gonna get all the passengers on here, and we're gonna go head on. Only thing about it, we're not gonna have it's not a pilot. What do you call it? A captain. We're not gonna have a captain. We're not gonna have anybody to control the ship to make sure it goes where it's supposed to go. We're not gonna have that. We're just gonna go out there. We're just gonna sail.
Okay, I found it.
Okay,
it's 25.
Okay.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church.
I just said.
And let me finish.
No, we gotta get it, bro.
I'm reading this verse.
Hold on. We're not gonna take this conversation.
No,
we're gonna be here another 20 or 30 minutes talking about this. We have to get out of here, brother. This is just a part of what we was talking about. This is not the whole thing. We got to get out of here. Leonard, what's going on at 3 o'clock?
If you did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety, you can log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock Eastern today.
Good deal. Good deal. Toy, you want to see with your prayers out?
Right.
Yes.
How you do that, man?
Do what?
You can't cut that scripture off like that. You at least gotta let that brother finish reading the entire scripture.
No. We said we wanted to say, Kurt, it's time to go, brother. Kurt, it's time to go. Toy, will you pray us out? Toy, you there? Okay, will you pray us out?
Father God, we come to you about here in my Father God, we come to you. Well, thank you, Father God. God, we thank you for today. We thank you for our host. And we thank you for the show, the broadcast. Thank you for the sisters. And we thank you for the listeners. Father God, we ask you to stay with us, live with us as we leave this broadcast, that we can conduct ourselves in a godly manner and do the things that you would have us to do. And that we don't bring no harm on nobody, we don't cause no pain upon nobody, and no longer come towards us. We ask this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I want to thank everybody for, it is now 10:10. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow to be a part of your morning. It is now 10:10. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You'll have a great day. Get an opportunity to give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Love you, and take care of each other. Have a great weekend.
Go.